is. Jamon's sword traces their hand across the smooth surface of a large mirror before them. Their eyes study the reflection within, as if to peer past it and onto what lies beyond that transspatial expanse. In the castle's shadow, across the sprawling metropolis of Ankarel, 293,000 souls rise to meet a new dawn. The Emperor listens as agents of his court give reports of troubling findings throughout the city. Men and women missing from their streets, taking at the dead of night. Hand of Ore soldiers investigating the sewers, claiming sightings of giant serpents infesting the underridge. The sound of ritual drums in the deep, as the corrupting influence of the gods of old gather the wretched to scheme and plot the return of Zahir, the cloaked serpent. The Emperor dismisses their court with a gentle gesture of their hand. In the lingering silence, they cast their eyes northward, past the skyscraper view of the city and onto the dunes of Ramadan. There, far to the north, above a rock formation shielding an ancient trove of platinum and gold, a thunderstorm has gathered to stretch miles across the skies. Lightning strikes the desert sands, leaving craters of black glass in its wake, with spiked, spiraling shards fanning outwards like an explosion frozen mid-spread. Dust devils howl across the dunes. Skyship captains, alarmed by the sudden change in climate, reroute their ships to avoid the gathering storm. "Ringmaster Kauto," says the Emperor over their shoulder, "raise the reward for this year's tournament. We find ourselves in need of a champion." "What for, your Imperial Majesty?" asks the besuited orc in the room. And the Emperor simply smirks. He turns to the Ringmaster and, eyes ablaze with excitement, whispers, "A dragon, old friend. The last brood of Brimscythe, the Iron Storm, has issued its challenging roar. Now, we answer in kind." Far below the Emperor's chambers, past the ancient foundation of the Cerulean Palace, Gelsariad of House Ardith marks a line upon his jail cell wall, tracing the chalk in practice motions to draw a near-perfect rune circle. Trying to keep his body busy and his mind from succumbing to the gloom, the drow meditates upon his art and chuckles over a half-remembered joke once spoken by his dear friends. Struggling to keep count of the days, he instead retreats into his mind. His trance, however, is interrupted by the scuffle of guard greaves across the stone hall floor outside his cell. "He's not responding! Get help!" A couple guards rush past Gelsaird's door and open the one neighboring his cell, where for the past couple of days Gelsaird shared whispers with an inmate claiming to be a Cerberus Assembly runaway. "It's too late," Gelsaird hears the guardsman say. "Get the watch, Captain. Tell him it's inmate Offidus. He's dead." Dawn breaks over the city of Ankarel. We find our heroes gathered over a late breakfast following some well-needed rest. Your pockets are laden with treasures from the Vault of Shumos, your minds abuzz with memories of your altercation there with the Blue Dragon, and your morning errands, shopping and such finished. You and your companions discuss your next venture, whatever that may be. Lying upon the table before you is a note left there by Clandestine, the one-eyed Tabaxi companion. Those of you who read it remember it saying something along the lines of, "Riot. I find myself troubled and unable to sleep. I must seek respite in prayer and the comforting embrace of home. I best deliver my share of the cut to mother before finally taking a long soak in the baths to ease these bruising sores. But despair not, you know where to find me. One of yours holds the key, a note written in thieves' cant, which shall usher you to us. Brother, when in dark, become shadows. You find yourself in the dark. Your group is stumbling in the blind. A Upon facing dire circumstance, you ditch your own to die, each only caring for the safety of the self. Your group is yet to find their strength, and frankly, could use guidance. Before you poke the serpent's nest, I advise you find someone with proper information on where you're headed, lest the city constrict you and yours, one by one, until we meet again, Silver. And so, fate's fortune. What would you like to do?
With that said, Naya, in always looking for a good book to read, would suggest to the group that when we were talking with Layla beforehand, we never were told where we were, like the exact name of where we were going or anything like that, just that she needed help to retrieve something. So maybe we can check at the library with, oh gosh, need to find a name, with bookkeeper Kime, to see if perhaps he has any knowledge he can give us about the vault.
We know the name of it, no?
Yes, we know it now. Did we know it in advance? I don't. Or even if we knew it in advance, we didn't ask any information about it before we went. Maybe now is the time. Especially having getting kind of reminded from Clandestine's letter, and just being like, that is true. We should maybe look into that.
What information are you looking to attain? You know, if you imagine asking questions, reading through literature, pulling books off shelves.
Perhaps
What are you?
Maybe we can
What
find,
info are you looking to find?
Even especially if we're talking about this, we're talking about teleporting and everything like that. Yes, we have the memories, but even if we could find something as incredible as, I don't know, example, a map that we could show them as well as some additional history, anything will help us with the hit or miss nature of casting this teleport spell. So just getting that caster more and more familiar with the location, as well as for our own benefit. Maybe there is some secret that's hidden in some dusty book that is just waiting to be uncovered.
Okay.
Sounds like a good idea.
I'm not against it, but first, I need to summon my horse. So I'm going to spend 10 minutes doing this.
Sure. Do you just summon him in a room?
No, it's it would be funny. You made me think about it. No, I would step outside into the. I'll move over here. I would do it right there.
Sure. As he's doing that, what the rest of you guys do?
Well, while we barely made it out by the skin of our teeth, and we know there's a vast amount of treasure there, I'm gonna have to say that you're gonna have to do the rest of this without me. In the time being, I'm gonna return to the Cobalt Soul. It seems like the group's just a little bit chaotic, and we don't have that much cohesion right now. But it's not that I'm gonna be leaving you entirely. You can come visit whenever you want. Over these past weeks, I've been spending... I have the Stone of Sending, and I've been able to talk with Question about trying to find you a replacement. However, during this time, I noticed that I would be able to handle my studies a little bit faster and more to my pace. Perhaps even my old teacher would even help. If you remember the name Rashad over in Rexitrum, I'd be able to teleport back and forth. But I still want to help. I'm going to try to see whatever I can do, try to manipulate time, if there's a way that I can bend it, maybe try to peer into the past, or if there's something that I can aid you. But going forward, I won't be joining you anymore.
Most honorable, Melina. I wish you well on your journey.
Well, it's been a good run, and unfortunately, you weren't here with us, but in the time that we did spend together, I mean, I do see a future with you. I'm hoping to hear your name soon in the streets, and hopefully when you guys return, Well, it'll be a great thing for you. But I want to find Elixion. That's where my heart is. And anything that I can find, I wanted to help dispense it to you guys first. But it's just going to take some time. But with this being said, well, maybe I shouldn't even have to say this, but going forward, your actions are your own. I won't be able to stop and bend time, from your head being nearly cut off by a swordsman or, being able to dodge out of the way of some ball of fire. I won't be there anymore. So everything you do will be entirely up to you. There's no more second chances. But I'm sure you know that. But in the meantime, I'll be at the library. In the meantime, well, excuse me, I've been talking with Question. There is someone that you can find. It goes by the name of JG. I only know a little bit about the person, but there's something to be told within the Merc group. Mercenaries, his or her name, I'm not sure who it is, travels a little bit. Been around for some time, and hopefully they can be useful to you. Apparently they kind of know who we are, too. But you can find this person in the shade.
In the shade. Where's the shade? We can look.
I think that's a bar or lounge or something.
Yes.
Okay.
You can find them there. A lot of mercenary groups, Scar Bearers, I think, tend to hang out there. But you'll be able to find this person there. So.
Nia, you seem to recall the Shade being that one place where Mashid led you once when you asked for like spicy food, and you met some.
Oh, that's why.
That's a fun place.
Yeah.
Naya kind of will share that information with the group of through the fog of her memory of spicy time. And remind them and being like, I don't know if I know exactly where that is, but I remember when he led me there. I don't remember leaving.
Well, I'm sure if you ask around, people, town guards or someone, even Scar Bears walking around, will be able to find it. I'm sure it might be a rowdy place, but hopefully this person can be just as useful, if not more, than what I could be. But in the meantime, this isn't a goodbye. It's just more of a, I'll see you later. Like I said, I'll be at the library, hoping to find what I can. And maybe I'll even try to head down into the archaeological dig at some point and try to recover what I can. Maybe there's something here that we just haven't seen yet. But I do want to leave things with you, obviously. I don't want to take everything for myself. And then kind of placing everything on the table. She's going to leave the bag of holding. She's not going to take that because that's your guys's. But she's going to take all of her personal stuff out of it, like her pack and all of her, bed rolls and all that stuff. But what she is going to leave, and I'll put this in chat because I made a list.
You want to maybe just update the bag of holding thing?
It depends if people want to take it. I can put it in there, but it depends if you guys want to divvy it up or however. I'll put it in chat. And then, I don't know why it separated that, but I'll put it in the bag of holding as well. Delete Molina's goods. Add stuff. Save. So, she's going to leave you that stuff. And then she's also going to leave you the Stone of Sending, so you can still at least talk to Question, and then she can reach out from there if you need to talk to Molina, or if you just need to talk to Question, or Sura, or anyone too. She'll leave that as well. I'll add that in. But, you know where I'll be. Facing the dragon, I mean, we've barely made it out of Betrayer's Rise. The dragon is another thing. I don't fear it, but I do need to take care of myself a little bit. This wound is still bleeding sand a little bit, so I want to get that taken care of. But if you're heading back, if you need anything in the future, just let me know.
Yes, I wish you well on your journey, but selfishly, don't forget to spread the news of the hero in town, Sir Winston.
If you slay the dragon and come back with a mighty token, I will be sure to spread the word among my Cobalt Soul members, and I'm sure they'll rejoice. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you at the tournament on the 22nd.
As a
Um,
spectator?
Yeah, I'll be as a spectator. It's never really was my thing to join it. Not really offensively, but maybe your new member will be able to help you out. Maybe even a little bit better than what I could.
Do you have more details on this other adventurer, JG?
Yeah, the name.
Should we just go around asking for a JG, or is there a description, or perhaps maybe a feather in their cap we could look for?
As far as details, I know they're an elf, but I don't know if it's a he or she. I just know it goes by the name of JG, and they are a mercenary that's been around for quite a time. So, hopefully if you're able to go in and just start looking around, either they'll find you or you should be able to find them. Heard they frequent the spot a little bit, but they've been asking around for us, so I'm sure maybe they'll even recognize you. As far as the name of Fate Fortune.
And I would confirm that
I'll take it.
that the shade is a pretty quaint spot, meaning as in it's not vast, or like it's when you walk in you can see most of it.
A dive bar, I hear.
That's what it seems to be.
Divey.
lot of individual private ish rooms.
But if you need anything else, like I said, just let me know. But in the meantime, it's been fun. It's been quite the adventure, and we've done a lot. But I don't want to see this as me giving up or anything. I'll still aid when I can, but I do want to try to go to a different route, something a little bit more my pace. But,
Naya would walk up to Melina and kind of she would outreach, like stretch out her hand for a handshake, and she'd be like, "This is not goodbye. This is a see you later."
it is a see you later. I'm just around the corner. You know where I'll be. Hopefully I'll still be in town for a little bit, but I'll definitely do my best to make it there on the 22nd for the fighters pit.
And she would kind of give a little wink, being like, "I'll try to keep this group alive."
Yeah. Definitely need it.
Godspeed, Melina. Godspeed.
Julian, you got anything to say? Mighty quiet.
It's
Strucken with grief. I
Mom's
understand your
leaving.
pain,
Julian
Julian.
is
Mom.
struck
Do you need-
by, like,
do you need a
surprise that
shoulder to
Melina's
cry
gonna be
upon?
stepping away. But I'm sorry to hear that you sort of want to take a break in all this. I hope that maybe sometime in the future we can reconvene.
I'm sure
Perhaps when
paths will
things have
cross again.
calmed down.
We'll come back in one piece. We'll try to grab drinks or something here in the future. But it seems like you guys got a long day ahead of you, and with everything else going on and mounting up, I'll try to take care of what I can here in the city. But from there, she'll just give like a small, like, polite bow or something, and makes eye contact with everyone, says goodbye formally, and then she'll be on her way.
Can you imagine if you turned to like Lorian's character and Julian was just like, "Don't go, I love you." Like,
I love you. I never told you.
yeah, don't
Magic
go.
mommy, please.
Yeah, we need you.
Melina, please stay. I need
Silvery
you.
Barb, so good.
Yeah.
So Melina, you're keeping the pearls of power, right?
I don't have the Pearl of Power, but she is definitely keeping the Ring of Spell Storing in her book.
The Pearl of Power is in Riot's possession. We'll discuss with me what he sells, what he buys, but we'll keep everything in his inventory for now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought, because I'm pretty sure I could have swore that Melina found those. So I guess I missed the part where you gave them to Riot.
So good.
No, the pearl I found in Jigga was the pearl that allows me to cast Identify. It's just like a normal shell
Okay.
pearl.
Jigga. You sound like the other DM who was like, it ain't right. It ain't an American name.
Right.
Jigga.
I don't like Jigga. It's what do you name it?
Helmsdeep. No. Helmsdeep would have been awesome. I don't remember what he called it.
Hemla or something? I don't know.
Hamlet or some shit.
Hamlet, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking dumb.
Whatever.
Anyway.
Jigga.
I would recommend people that are not Naya take the potions of healing.
Mm-hmm. So, potions of healing, who wants them? Let's just get this out of the way.
Yeah, I'll take one.
Wait, Nick, don't leave. We're not...
I'll take one.
Okay, so you take one. Who takes the other one?
Winston and Julian.
Sounds good. Potion of Watchful Rest. That's the one where like you can benefit from a long rest without ever having slept, pretty much.
Oh shit, that's dope.
Essentially, what they gave the German soldiers in World War II. Like it's just like heroin. Yeah.
Cocaine.
You're just sitting there like, you good? You good on watch? Yeah.
So basically, I think that would be probably most useful for probably a spellcaster, because that way they regain their spell slots.
It's
I
Probably.
whoever wants
keep
it.
it in the bag.
Sure.
I say keep it in the bag. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. It's great for a spellcaster. I burned all of my slots. I didn't even know that was even an option. But yeah, hold on to it for whoever needs it. I'd say.
It's more
Keep
like
it in the
a
bag.
on-watch sort of item. It's not like a reactionary item, like, say, antitoxin, which isn't a reactionary item. Considering where you guys are headed next, with the whole Zahir cult, snakes, and whatnot, who wants to keep the antitoxin?
Naya will take it.
Cool. Ring of Furry?
Furries?
Ring of Furries? You mean like she's just like, ooh? I don't know.
Instead of conjure animals, it's conjure furies.
Oh, that's worse.
Winston, you want to use the ring?
Winston?
Yeah, I mean,
Hold on to
sure.
it, too.
I'll adorn the red ring of fury.
Take a class in
Ring of
Barbarian.
Red Fury,
Mhm.
and I'll barbarian this.
Really, you're leaving hemp rope behind?
I mean, Melina's not gonna need it, but like extra rope is always great.
Rope is pretty useful in library. I don't know what you're talking about.
I
When you like lasso those books from the upper shelves.
Look, yeah, man, I'm a cowboy.
I'm the cowboy, baby.
Naya will take the sending stone.
Go for it. Yeah.
So just FYI, the other sending stone is with curator. No, it's with the curator that sent you to spy on Offidus.
Okay, so that's
Well, yeah, question by extension. If you ask for her, sure. It's just that you can always be like, okay, so I used this sending stone to send a once a day message to be like, hey, pass this on to question, yada yada yada. But just so you know, it's in the possession of the curator until like a later time.
Yeah.
If Melina wants to like go to the library and be like, hey, like curator can like question carry that, so my party can like use me in question as a sort of thing, I'm totally down with it.
Well, I got it from Question originally, so I thought she would just be handling it since we have.
Yeah, you got questions, and the other one is with the curator. It was between question and curator. That's what I'm saying. Anyways,
That's fine. Doesn't.
it's with the Kobold Soul. Just so you guys know who you're contacting if you use it. Cool. So I think that's all the items out of the way. Oh, teleportation tablet. Who wants to have it in their inventory, or is it just going in the back of holding?
Who's taking the bag of holding itself?
It's also a good question.
Naya?
Now, you want to hold on to it?
Naya?
Naya can hold it, that's fine.
That's fine. It's like it's 15 pounds. It's 15 pounds. Doesn't matter how much you put in it. Teleportation tablet. Remember that it's an action to activate. It's unlike the teleportation spell that takes like a ritual to set up. Teleportation tablet is something you can use in combat. If that ever becomes like a life-saving thing, just so you know.
I'll take the tablet.
Pearls of dehydration. Yeah, sure. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what they were.
Pearls of dehydration. Just eat one. Die. Dryness pellets, yeah. Whoever
Those
wants.
things spawn.
I'll take
Water,
those.
right?
Just
Sounds
play
good.
with them.
I'm pretty sure if you, because they're already filled with seawater from the Gulf of Jigao, if you burst them, it's like 15 liters of salt water. Just so you know what they do.
So are these essentially reusable or consumable? Meaning, like they've already used to
I have the
consume
handout.
water.
I will read it. Dust of dryness pellets. Here you are. Someone can use an action to smash the pellet against a hard surface, destroying it essentially, and it will release the water absorbed. 15 cube of water, and ending the pellet's magic, destroying it effectively.
Okay.
They would have been like usable if they were still like in their original form, but you guys found them underwater, so good for
So they're
Mhm.
it's basically pellets of, hey, I'm gonna dump a bunch
Yeah,
of
15
water.
feet
Yeah.
cube of water is a pretty big area. Like that's
If
like a
nobody minds,
yeah.
I'll take them because I feel like I could come up with some clever way of making those work.
Like the room you're in right now. If you were to like throw like 4 of those pellets, we'll fill the entire room with water.
I do it right now. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
I think the window's open. All right, fair enough. With those items sorted out of the way, just to expedite things, if Melina wants to say anything else before she says her goodbyes,
No, that was gonna be it.
sounds good.
Who took the tablet though?
It's in the bag,
Okay.
and Naya has the bag.
Okay.
Sounds good. If Sir Winston wants to mount his steed, and the rest of you can proceed on foot or by taxi, however you wish. Nia, you know the way, more or less, to the shade, so whether it be by Nia's lead or by asking the town people around, I can just show you guys to the shade if you'd like. You guys stopping anywhere near on the way there as you make your way through the streets? I'm gonna take silence for no. Guys, say something. Otherwise, I'm talking to myself.
We're heading
not
towards the
stopping.
shade.
Okay,
Yes?
cool. Yes, okay,
We're heading to the shade.
cool.
Yes.
Talk.
Me gracefully mounting the steed and trotting through town,
Yeah, your cape of billowing just magnificently,
waving at everybody.
like the fucking queen. Like,
Yes.
you see a few children run by and they're like, "Oh wow, shiny armor!" And like a few of like the more older folk are like, "Who the fuck is that guy?" You're like, "Yes, cool." Located in the Sunken Bazaar, the Shade Lounge Tavern features like an open air building consisting of this like circular sandstone wall with a green cloth roof held by like this singular tent pole in the center. Imagine like almost like a circus tent, if you will, with a wall around it. I'll put us on a map, actually. I have a map for this place. The Shade will be under T. The Shade. Yeah. Malina is no longer with us, but nonetheless, there is a newcomer. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. So, how's vision, guys? If I put you guys on the bottom of the map here, there is Nia, Julian, Wright is with us in spirit, Winston, and you have Stephen right below you there. You can leave him in the care of the Steedmaster over yonder, if you'd like. Let me just move the other mount.
The giant lizard. Right?
Yeah, let me just move this guy from this side here.
Oh, he looks so nice.
Okay. So anyway, how's the vision for you guys? Everybody sees the map?
Layers
Yes.
of jealousy.
Okay. Nick, you as well, right?
Yes.
Cool. So green cloth roof held by a singular tent pole in the center. Sort of proceeding toward the entrance and entering, you see the place is segmented into like various rooms with no ceiling, sharing the same roof. The rooms are covered with pillows and carpets and are like sort of separated by these like really hippie like beaded curtains and draperies, you know, man, that fucking hippie vibe. Real relaxed place. I'm gonna put some music for the Shade here.
Oh fuck! I gotta join. I forgot.
That's okay.
What was the name of this person we're looking for again?
JG.
JG is
We
yeah.
just got a
JG.
nickels.
Okay.
Julian, you are more than welcome to take more than 2 steps into the place. You won't get stabbed yet, don't worry. As you step in, leading the group into this shady places, you're really used to shady places, and sort of following the confidence of Sir Winston, who is carefree in general. You see all manner of like mercenary-looking types huddled by low tables and exchanging hushed whispers, coin contracts, while these silk-clad attendees serve trays of like dried fruits and steaming tea. Looking around, you see, not her, you see, first of all, Ao and Irvin are here, but
Irvin.
that's not really your query right now. You just sort of note them, and they note you with a nod. You see Rashid across from you, seems to be like right at home here. And then you see a woman over yonder. Seems to be sitting alone. Whereas everybody else is sort of sitting in their groups. To your like left, there's like a little bar. You see a woman there serves various drinks and tobacco for like hookah smoke. Featured amid the tavern's goods are bottles of like sand keg hide. That's a really expensive, like 350 gold piece wine. That you've actually, I think, tried it once before, or you went for the cheaper like imperial wine. I don't remember where in Bezoxan. I think you picked the cheaper one, but that seems to be like the main vibe of the place. But yeah, as I mentioned, past the smoke and the haze, sat in one section of this lounge is this woman that seems to be in the middle of like a game of what is called Five Finger Fillet against another brutish-looking mercenary. Maybe like twice her size, and you just hear him cry out in pain as he stabs his finger, and she like laughs it off, and begrudgingly he just like tosses like a coin full, a pouch full of coins in her direction, and just storms out of the place, proceeding past you and sort of like bumping you with the shoulder before like storming out into the streets. And this woman just sits there briefly, shuffles the coin bag, seems to be smug and satisfied with what has just transpired, playing with a very knife that he stabbed himself with there. But anyway, I'm mumbling too much. As you approach, Nick, would you kindly describe what this individual looks like?
So sitting down with her, leaning back in her, chair, and like the bags and everything, all the comforts over there. There's a small little bit of blood on the table, but as you see, it's an elf woman. She has kind of like the amber color, kind of like almost like glistening eyes. Like I said, elf, very dark hair, almost like a midnight blue or so. She wears light armor, has like a bow to the side, some swords and everything. A little tighter fitted clothing, about 5'7", slender build, though a little bit of maybe muscle underneath. But being an elf, though, she's of Corellan and, long living, pretty, everything, graced by him. But as she is, she's just kind of flourishing the little knife around, but she catches your eye, you catch her eye. And from across the room, she kind of like, what's the word I want to use? She kind of, gives you like a little wave over, and then you hear her say, "Well, it must have been fate's fortune. I've been looking for you guys forever. I'm glad you found me here. How many are there of you? 3, 4? Where's the other one?"
Oh, you must
Come on, speak up.
referring to the kitty cat. Needed a little breather. He's taking a little nap.
I'm present. I'll be right, I guess.
Here. Or here. I don't know.
You have him on your back while he naps.
I've been looking for you guys for a little bit of time.
You must be talking about Melina then. Little.
Yeah, the one with the horns. I've seen her around.
A little slow on understanding. It's the accent. I tell you, I don't know where you're from. But Melina, it's funny you should ask. She just departed this party. She went on her own journey to find Elixion. I'm sure you might have heard of him. Everybody's heard of him, I think. But she's no longer with us. She rejoined the Cobalt Soul.
Well, lucky for you, I do know a little bit of what's going on. I've been following you guys for a little bit, in and out. All the way back from since, Betrayer's Rise and stuff. You've been leaving quite the impression. Just, well,
You've been
now that we
following
meet
us?
face to face, sort of. I want to say... Well,
You've
go
been
ahead, Sweetie.
following us. You've been following us since... Wait, I wasn't there.
Well, you weren't there.
I wasn't there.
Do you even
Nah.
know who Winston is?
I don't even know who I am anymore.
Yeah, through the
This is
grapevine
where-
only a little bit.
Where I keep quiet.
Name's still getting, you gotta get up there on the little bit of a fame level there, sweetie. But, no, I've been keeping tabs. I've been watching. Like you said, she left. She's been looking for a replacement. It's gonna be Hun. So, this is where we're at. Right now,
Get a choice. in this.
can give you a little bit of a help. I'm sorry. The name's Julia. Julia Gulia. You ever hear of me? I'm, somewhat of a little bit of a legend back in the day.
Julia Gulia.
It rolls right off the tongue.
I can't. Oh, it certainly rolls. I can't say that that name rings any bells with me.
Those of you curious, go ahead and roll me a history check. Okay, Nia. Never met him by face, but there have been, I want to say, myth, legend. This entity before you, this elf, has been around long enough for you to have caught the name sometime during your early adolescence, via the vine of various mercenary groups throughout, I want to say, all of Alexandria. And that would be something rare, because usually mercenary groups tend to stick to one continent, even one region. Julia Gulia is a name that rings a bell, and sorry, Nick, I'm butchering this. I'm trying to concentrate here with along with what we're discussing.
You're fine.
I'm struggling because I'm struggling to remember the name of your of the group. The Red Eagles.
Crimson Eagles.
The Crimson Eagles is the mercenary group that you've heard about during your early upbringing in Executive Kittrell, learning about the histories, especially when you joined the Cobalt Soul and you started getting into the history books and learning just common lore of the lands, the calamity, the times afterwards, the various cataclysms, the rain, and then you can't recall with a 7. You can't recall details to the narrow. But this individual has something to do with a group called the Crimson Eagles, who were present during the cataclysm of Mullsmere, which is an elven city that is now destroyed due to some blight in their forest. Mullsmere itself being located in the far western regions of the Empire, across the pond. And if your intuition is true, this individual is hundreds of years old and has been around. Julian Cohen, you have been with the Myriad, the Many, the Endless, the Legion for a few years, enough to know various contacts. And the Myriad actually had dealings with this mercenary group at one point or another, not directly having them work under the Myriad's name, but definitely alongside contracts, be it try to avoid opposition or try to get in each other's way. The Crimson Eagles, this mercenary group, was also responsible for aiding the Myriad in joining together against the forces of the Chroma Conclave. The cataclysmic, draconic assault upon Tal'Dorei and all Alexandria, really, because their assault stretched as far as Wildmount, really. Many heroes rose during those times 20 years ago, including among them the Crimson Eagles and Julia Gulia. These are sort of rumors that you guys might have heard through the vine, but of course, best to hear from the horse's mouth.
So you've heard of me before then, right?
Sure.
Well, sure.
Like,
It's either a yes or no. Have you heard of me?
your
I've done great
group
things.
before.
like Melina,
Heard of
who
it.
has returned to the arms of the library and her studies at the Cobalt Soul. I'm also from the Cobalt Soul, and I've read some of the exploits of your group, as well as heard your name. But unfortunately, it's just on the tip of my tongue. There seems to be some details missing just from my memory. Perhaps one of my colleagues here might know from different sources. For me, it's coming from like books.
Ah, sweetie, you're so darling. I appreciate it. I can give you the stories if you need anything. I got hundreds of them. Plenty. I could talk for hours, trust me. Husband always tells me that I'm a gabber.
Oh, I love stories. I love to learn new things.
Well, good. I'll educate yous. But
Yes.
look, I've been around for some time, but what you probably know, it's all true. But I did spend some time up into the north. You know where Shady Creek Run is? Bunch of, low-life murderers and, scammers and stuff. You look like you might know the type, points to Julian. I'm gonna take that as a no. You probably had
Yeah.
never heard of it then. Yes?
Never heard of a Shady Creek before. Nope.
All right. Well, anyways, up into the north, there's these woods up there. Terrible thing. Blights have happened. Someone underneath the city had found some magic, went all to shit. I was able to help them, but if you may know this, though, too, a lot of the elves, they've lost their homes, so I wanted to help them, obviously. So we took them over to the iron gates of the Dwarven City, and that's where a lot of them reside, but hopefully someday we can, get the woods back to where we can restore them to their natural, properties. But I've also spent my time here in your world, and the material plane they call it. I'm originally from the Fae. And kind of like, swishing her hair back in a little bit and everything, you'll notice that she does have some Fae gifts. She does have what kind of looks like almost like protrusions behind her ears, kind of not like horns, but kind of like almost like rocks, like a very smooth surface, kind of like shiny, between like a rock and a jewel, just like very dull. But she also has like cherry blossoms kind of interwoven in between her hair.
Sort of reminds you of the Dryads you met over at the Verdant Loop way back.
Yeah. But,
Sounds like you guys need a group of powerful druids.
well, that's definitely one route we want to take, but there's just so much going on over there. But from what I've heard, you guys have done great things. Or your former group, I know a couple of you are not here anymore. But with Betrayer's Rise, I don't think you fully understand of everything what's been happening there. You've done a great thing. It's changed what's happening also in the Fae life as well. And that's why I want to answer this call. That's why I want to be here with you. I mean, let's be real. An elf needs to be here for this job. I mean, I know we can be smug, but if it's going to be one of the higher mortals, it's going to be, an elf is going to do it. We basically carry on this world's history. I mean, come on, we live forever. But my point being is that the material plane, whatever happens here is going to affect everybody else everywhere. The Fae, that's where my home is. That's where I've had some of my kids. So whatever affects one is going to affect the other. I know a little bit of what your Cobalt friend has been telling me, through the wire, but I need a little bit of catching up. Maybe a fire or something later tonight over a drink.
And how many kids do you have?
Wow.
How many kids I got? Sweetie, let me tell you something. She takes out this little locket around her neck, okay? This little locket, she takes it out of her shirt and everything, and she pops it open, and 2 pictures are there, and it's literally just a roll of film after. It just falls to the ground, and
Oh
it's
my
just
gosh.
all her kids and her husband. The first 2 you see is her and her husband, portraits, and the star-crossed lovers. That's what we've always been. And
Can I just take a moment to describe what your husband looks like?
oh yeah, fucking go for it.
This fucking Chad. This fucking Conan the Barbarian type. You can grind cheese on those fucking abs. He looks like a man who never wears a shirt. Blonde locks, right? Like those fucking Viking beard. Imagine like a disco Viking type. Just like sat on his like stone throne, skulls at his feet, and very lovingly like holding his wife like beside him. Yeah. Just shadow.
Super just like if
Hold
this
up.
guy gave any vibes.
This guy also an elf?
No, he's human.
Oh, beat him on dead.
But
What, sweetie?
I
Hold
wanna-
on. Whoa.
Time
He's
out.
still around.
Time out.
Don't be saying that.
After
I'm gonna
after
give me
seeing
a
that,
fucking
He's still
sex
around?
with you.
Really?
Oh, wait, hold on. Have you heard of my husband? His name's Ugoff, the manslayer.
Manslayer.
Ooh, God.
And he's a man?
Yeah, see? Oh, look at that. Chiseled washboard abs. You ain't gonna get any better than that. He's my little bear.
Oh my God.
So Winston would stand up. Ugoff,
Jesus Christ.
You.
He's hot. Jesus.
you are the wife
Just
of the famed Ugoff.
That's my husband.
Could it
She likes a
be
cigarette.
destiny has brought us together? That guy is my hero.
That man has conquered
how long have you
entire
been married for?
empires. What's that?
How long have you been married for?
Oh god, it's
This
been at
guy?
least a couple hundred years.
How is he still alive? I'm so curious.
Sweetie, we all got what's the word?
Hey,
Mysteries and shit.
that-
Maybe
that
for
sounds
another
like-
time I'll tell you, but
sounds like a dig
he's
against
around for
Ugoff.
he's been around for a
God,
Julian.
Not
ugly.
In the back of your mind, you seem to recall a certain device that you've given your father, who has allowed him to live past his deathbed. Such magic is a possibility, surely.
Naya leans into the film and just kind of looks down at them and being like, "Oh, they're adorable."
Vitamins.
But then there's the
all my
children.
kids.
Yeah.
They're all mine. They're gorgeous. They're all angels. Well, most of them.
What is it, like
I got a
like
favorite.
a dozen half frames, like just scrolling down your leg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just like 12 of them. It's all like poses of like when they were younger, when they're older, and all of this stuff. But you do notice what's interesting is that they're not all elf, like full-blood elf. Just for ease of sake, you see that 6 of them are full-blooded elf. 2 of them being twins. You see 3 of them who are humans, and then you see another 3 who are half elf. But yeah, they're all my kids. Shining, great stuff. I mean, I was an adventurer back in the day, like I told you, you've heard stories about me. But, you know, I had to take a little bit of a break. I mean, we had the kids, and I needed to, you know, prepare and, you know, get everything ready. And I wanted to give them a good life from there in the Fae, but also here in the material plane. So we do a little bit of traveling back and forth.
You're not pregnant now, right?
No, honey, no. We're done with that. I mean, I can't do it
Okay.
anymore. But I mean, you
12
bring
was
up a
the
good
limit?
point. No, I mean, we could probably do more. It's just we're at the time in our life is where it's just not really needed. We have 12. They're all great. They've all succeeded well in their life. They've all been fantastic.
Not to mention, you got business to finish.
Yes. And right now, I mean, there's an empty nest, and me and my husband, we were looking at each other. We're just like, well, why don't we just have one last hurrah? Like, we go out and we do the things that we want to do, and, you know, before we kind of, like, settle down. I mean, I'm going to be getting up there in age for in the next, you know, at least 100 years I got, so, I mean, we'll do that. But he's got some time left as well. But right now, it seems like the world really needs some heroes. It really needs some people to step up, and, well, I want to answer that call again. But you, Mr. Tall Orc there, Sir Winston, you said. Yes, my husband. Great things. He's called Mr. Exandria. He just goes up on a stage, he flexes his muscles, and Jesus Christ, he blows everyone out of the water.
Oh, I've heard many a tale. He's everything I aspire to become.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll try and get you an autograph if I can, but, you know, it looks like you want to do your own thing, and I respect that. I respect that, okay, kid? So, if you need any help or pointers, I mean, I'll do what I can, but, you know, if you need anything, you come talk to Big Mama. You can You can talk to Big. That's my other name, who I used to run with the Merc Band. Always Big Mama or Julia, Gulia, JG, whatever you want to call it, kid.
How tall is Julia?
Big
She's
Mama.
5'7".
We got a new
Oh my
bot.
gosh, I'm taller than her.
Big Mama in the
She's
house.
not big at all.
Well, I mean, we've done a little bit of introductions. We've been talking for a little bit, but she looks over at Julia and kind of gives a little finger. You look like you'd be good with a ponytail. You ever have one?
No, I've never had one before.
I think you should start growing one, okay? I told you so. So let's make it happen. Here, actually, why don't you do me a favor? Let's build a little game of trust here. She kicks over the stool, or like the bench or whatever is there to prop you up and everything. And she wants you to sit down and play a game with her.
Do it.
Come on. I ain't gonna
Alright,
bite.
I'll play a game.
Don't
Alright,
be
cool.
shy.
What's the game?
We're gonna play my favorite. You see a little bit of blood on the table, and she from
I'm
her
on,
belt,
boss.
she takes out a knife, and she does like a little flourish with it, and sticks it right in the table. And then she takes, and she's like, "Honey, let me see your hand. It'll be over quick. We're gonna have some fun with this. It'll be a team building exercise. Isn't that what we need right now? So come on, give me that bear paw."
Team building exercise. Julian hands over his hand.
Okay. She takes it very elegantly. It's nice. Her skin is soft. She's a fucking elf, dude. She's like brace. Places it. And she's like, "Now I want you to spread your fingers, okay? And I want you to trust me. And if you win,
on the table.
I got a little bit of a surprise for y'all."
Wizard blood table.
Yeah, you see a little bit of like blood on the table. You're just like, So, honey, don't
How
focus
do I
on that.
win?
Focus on me.
What's the objective of this game again?
Well, I'm gonna make sure I still got it. I'm coming out of a small retirement here, so please give me a little bit of breathing room, okay? Let's chill out. So here we go, okay? It's called Five Finger Fillet. You ever play it?
I can't say I have now.
All right, look. I'm gonna make this easy for you. I'm gonna explain the game, and then we're gonna stop playing. I'm gonna take this knife, and I'm gonna go in between your fingers as fast as I can, and if I hit your finger, well, I'm gonna lose, okay? But if I don't, well, then I win. And I want you to give me 10 gold coins.
Uh,
All right, it sounds like
I'm
it's a
not
deal,
playing
because
this
I'm gonna
game.
tell you what. Either way, you're stuck here with me,
No,
because
I'm
I
not
got your
playing this
fucking
game.
hand.
no,
No,
I'm
you're
not
gonna
playing
play.
this.
Let me tell you something. If you get this, if you win, I have gifts for everybody.
How do I win?
I don't hit your fucking hand. Now you're not paying attention to me. All right, look.
You said
I'm gonna take
if you
this blade
don't
and
hit
I'm
my
gonna stop
finger,
playing.
you win.
Yeah. Look, I'm coming out of retirement. It's been a long day. That guy over there, I got his money. He sucked. Tried to get one up on Julia Gulia. That ain't happening, sweetie. All right, so here we go. We're gonna take this. She's gonna take the knife, does a little flourish with it. Hold on, I gotta get this page up right now. And she's gonna start humming just a little tune. And she's gonna put the knife between one of your fingers. She's gonna look you in the eye and not so much break contact with you. And then she's gonna start going in between your fingers, a little bit slower, and then she's gonna start going faster and faster and faster. All right, you ready, Julian? All right, it sounds like you are. I know, you got...
As ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah, what, cat got your tongue? Get it, because there's a fucking cat over there. Okay, here we go. Oh, I have on my fingers, the knife goes chop, chop, chop. And if I miss the space in between my fingers will come off. She starts to go a lot faster now, okay? And if I hit my fingers, blood will soon come out. But all the same, I play this game because that's what it's all about. Oh, chop, 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 chop. My fingers will come off. Don't you stare up at the knife. I don't know, she keeps going with this.
Right, just like clapping corner.
Do you want me to roll for anything or no?
No, definitely. Cool. Roll me like a sleight of hand.
Julian, you better hope I got a good sleight of hand, but I'm gonna tell you right now, not so much.
Chop, 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 chop. She's actually doing a very good job at maybe grazing your finger by like millimeters, but like you're watching as the blade becomes a blur before your eyes.
And
what
as
if
she gets to the end,
yeah,
she stabs it right between your fingers. gets very close, but doesn't touch. Look, see, that's all it was. That was easy, right? Honey, it's about building trust. We need to start trusting each other if we're gonna do this. So, Julian,
I
do you
think
trust me?
this was a good trust building exercise, and I do trust you. Now,
Okay.
will you like to get to trust me?
If you got something, then yes.
This game looks a lot of fun.
So, would you like a turn?
Yeah.
Okay. She's gonna hand over the knife then. Her knife.
Yeah.
She'll put her hand out, and whenever you want to go.
Do it. Do
How
it,
does one go
Julian.
again? Like, you have all your fingers, the knife goes chop, chop, chop. If I miss the space in between, your fingers will come
Roll
off.
me a sleight of
Yep.
hand check.
And
First
performance.
impressions.
And performance while you're at it.
Let me see what you got, kid.
Go ahead with that
Still
sleight
wet
of
behind
hand.
the ears a little bit.
No, you're actually you have that skill with a knife. You're a rogue. You managed to actually follow along with the song. The lyrics are the hardest part of this entire game for you.
It's the hardest part.
Honey, with time, you're gonna remember it. We're gonna be playing this game a lot, okay? It's one of my favorites.
Naya and Winston like take out their instruments and just start like giving you background music.
Yeah.
No,
The
I.
whole orchestra comes.
Nia's like slowly learning the chords to the song. Chop, chop, chop. Like just like this is gonna be a rogue song.
This is great. Winston would be like, he puts both his hands down. All right, you both go on me now. In
I like
front
this
of-
guy. He's taking a risk.
In front of Julian and Gulia. All right. It's a face-off. Go.
Man, you guys are really pushing your luck, like keeping digits. Go ahead, roll me sleight of hand checks, I suppose, with this game.
You really want to risk losing your finger?
I believe in you. I
Hi.
believe in you, Julian. Come on. Do it.
Oh, not
Okay,
as much.
You better be better than this bitch.
Okay, so these are sausage fingers that are on the table here, not really the size you're used to, so you have to like adjust yourself on the go, and now and then you see like sparks flying off as you're hitting the gauntlets on his like gloves.
Well, it's getting a little close, honey.
Oh,
Look, I'm
Winston.
still getting there.
Chop, chop, chop.
You have all your fingers. The knife goes chop, chop, chop.
I like this game. What a great game.
Spectacular.
Dude.
This guy just outdid me. And I'm
Julian,
one of the
what does a
best.
29 look like in this game? What are you doing with a 29 there? Are you like conjuring extra blades with your
I
psychic
imagine
blades?
It's like, imagine it's like going so fast that like you can barely keep up with it with your eyes, and like it's really scary when you hear like the loud just like stab, 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 but he doesn't feel a thing. There's just like a slight breeze in between his fingers.
And you both like at the same time finish off the song with a slap of your knives against the table, and you just hear from across the bar, "Oi! Enough! I don't want to get new tables."
Naya gets really, really sad, and she's like, "I wanted to give it a try. Winston, can I go one more time? I want to give it a try on Winston."
Why not?
You're gonna lose your fingers.
See, look, I'm loved by all. I bring a new game to the table. Everyone loves me.
Go for it. I believe in you, Naya. But no, well, hold on. Let's all take just one moment to reflect on Julian's magnificent triumph here.
He's a
right.
natural. What can I say? He outdid
Go ahead.
me.
Go ahead,
Look.
Naya.
Naya, you follow along with the game, absorbing it long enough. This is gonna be like almost like a party tradition I'm picking up here.
Party tradition.
Yeah, I'm
join
playing
the
with fire
party.
until somebody loses digits eventually,
You have
but
to
like,
risk losing your fingers.
yeah.
Luckily, it
Party
looks like
trick.
most of the party has relatively good sleight of hand.
Like the bard of parties are sort of like adding like a little swing to it, like a little like sass on the beat, between the chops, like keeping you on edge there. But overall, it is a good way to pass the time if you're not considering the consequences of not being able to pull the trigger of that gun you guys have in your position.
Oh, the world's destruction, that can wait. It's cool.
Listen,
This is
you've all
important.
done great. I'm Big Mama's proud of you. You've outdid me at my own game, so I have something for you. because I wanted to come off on a good foot and everything, and we understand each other, build some good rapport, you know. So, like I said, I've been trying to follow you guys for the last few days, but it seems like you've been gone taking care of something else. We can catch up with that here in just a sec, but I want to offer some nice things for you. So, she's going to reach into her pack, and she has gifts for you. And the first one is going to be for Sir Winston. And
I hope
it
it's a
is.
wheel of cheese.
Well, no, but you could cut something.
But you could pretend it's a wheel of cheese.
You could pretend. She gives you it's not like an ornate or anything, but it's a nicer like it's a whetstone. And so someone with a giant, sword and everything gives you, you can look up the stats of a whetstone. I think it's just like a +1 damage for 8 hours, but
appreciated.
It's a nice whetstone, although it's not something from here. This is something all the way from over in the woods where it's from the diarchy of Uthodurn, and that's where the city of elves and dwarves are, and dwarves being master craftsmen and everything. You see some dwarvish runes on it. It has like a very nice, like heavy, like meaty fit to it though, but it's something to sharpen your blade with.
I could read that shit.
So she gives that to you. She's going to give Julian stepped away. So
most gracious. Thank you, Gulia.
I'm here to serve. I think it's always nice to have little gifts here there. So my kids used to bring me stuff home all the time for their adventures. They've always done great things, so I thought I should return it. So for Raya, since he's not here though, I'm gonna give him a small cylindrical case. It's like a black leather, and in this case, it has 10 sticks of incense, but this is from the Feywild. So when he decides to light them, he can kind of explain, what they smell like and everything, but he got some nice incense, being a druid and everything, ever returning to the forest, maybe he'll never go to the Fey, but a little bit of the Fey can come to him. And then for Nia, I got her this little, it's like a fabric, and Julia knows that you have a drift globe, and so she lays it out, and it's got all these like different kind of swirls of patterns of colors, and when you place it over the orb, it kind of like changes like Tom, how did you describe it?
Dims the otherwise bright light of the orb, tinting it into dark shades of like this mauve, purple, and eerie sort of gross green, giving the whole surrounding around you guys almost an effect of like dimming the torches and like this Halloween lighting of just really eerie sense. And you get the feeling like if you were to like have somebody in like a dark room with this being the sole source of light and you are using your wards of terror and stuff, this will like probably help you get like an advantage on like intimidating the person or getting them to confess in the sort of inquisition sort of interrogations thing. This makes your orb light like add to that terrifying sense.
Since you're so small and everything, I thought maybe if, this might give you a little bit of an edge. Really set the ambience. Really get to know your enemies, your foes. Get inside their mind.
Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that. I might have a nice sweet demeanor on the inside, but I definitely know my way around someone's mind. I'm a secret intimidator.
Well, that's good. You walk softly, but you carry a big stick, and when the chance, to come, you hit them hard and you hit them fast. And I think you can do that. I can see it in you. It's, that dragon blood inside you. And then for you, Julian, the best for last. Well, not really. I didn't know what to do. Anyways, I got you this. And she hands you over a set of dice. All D6, and there's 4 of them. And they're like a very dark, like purple, sapphire color. Do you know what these dice are, Julian? At first glance?
They look like pretty dice.
Well, they are pretty. She's gonna lean in, but they're loaded. Whenever you need something to kind of gain something in your favor, if you can ever get a one-up on something or something that you're looking for, because I know you're kind of like me. You hang out in some of these spots and you need to get some winnings if you're ever low on funds or something. Or maybe you just want to have a couple, playful games with someone. It's loaded die. 2 of them will turn into 6s, and 2 of them will turn into 1s. So, you do whatever you want with that, kid.
Thank you, Julia.
Well, it's my pleasure. But I should also tell you something too. One sec. It seems like you guys have been handling something over out. Oh, what is it, sweetie?
Fucking love Julia.
I was gonna say, we unfortunately don't have any welcoming gifts for you. We just found out, a few hours ago that we were meeting.
It's quite all right. I'm not asking for anything. I guess the only thing I'm asking for is to give me a chance and let me prove to you that I can be worth something for your group. I know with your friends coming in and out, I know there was another elf of some sort, but it seems like he had left some time ago as well. But if we're gonna do this together, and from what I've known and what yous knows, well, I think we can find out a lot about what's going on with Elixion. And like I said, one world affects the other. The Fae affects the material plane, vice versa, even the Shadowfell. And even with my own personal prayers to Corellian, Corellon, I know right now he's within my heart and he wants to give me a guiding hand. But I do have some information for you. I know you've been out in the desert, you've been kind of, hunting for something. I'm not really totally sure on what, but I do have a little bit of info that might help you and something that you've already done. I know you put one of these Zahir cultists behind bars, and I've been doing a little bit of searching, doing some espionage myself. I have a little bit of a partial map. It's not all of it, but a bit of a partial map that can help you against finding this, hideout or so for Zahir. I think the other half might be in Najesh Mana. That's what I found, but I can't do it alone. So if we ever need to, maybe we can rely on each other. There is word of the Lash being out. If something of that magnitude is to be out there into the world, it could be devastating. And I think that's part of the key to finding this Lash. And if you check the journal on Roll20 at the top, you'll see part of the map that she's laid out.
1 second, let me make it visible for everybody.
I forgot you have that power.
Yeah. Julia Gulia shows you this. You can click on it to sort of zoom in. Seems to be some sort of a complex hideout.
What, Julia? What is this partial map of again?
Well, I was able to recover from one of their goons. It's an Underridge hideout. Tom, I don't know the specifics of where exactly that is.
No, you don't. That's okay. You only have the map. You know that the map is key to finding Lash. More information, from what you can tell, will probably be found in Najesh Manor. But let me turn down music a little bit. But you have the partial map from collecting it, doing your work, being a mercenary from the few goons you've encountered, be it via sleight of hand or beating them up and stealing it from them. But this map will be key to finding the Lash, is what you've gathered. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. There's also all that other stuff that you might know about Lady Najesh, if you want to share that with the party. Do you have that, or do you want me to send it back again to you?
If you can send it back to me, because I know we got lost
in
the stuff.
Yeah, we got lost in the sauce, but it's there. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll share this in a little bit.
Yeah.
But as far as, this time and everything that we've been getting to know each other, so what's your deal? I know you guys been out of town for a little bit. What's going on with you?
Well, right now, the most pressing thing going on is that we've received a decree from the Emperor to take out this take out a young blue dragon.
She leans back in her chair and takes a big, breath in through her nostrils. That's quite the challenge. That's some heavy lifting, but she kind of cracks her neck to the side, kind of limbers up a little bit. Gulia she doesn't turn away from a challenge. Look, if I was able to get a one-up on my husband on the battlefield, I could definitely pull this off, but we gotta rely on each other here. I mean, do you have any special things you want to do? Any kind of special tactics and stuff? I got a certain set of skills that I'm really good at, but depends on what.
What are you good at?
Guys. Well, just like you, Julian, I kind of got the sense that you're a little bit of a little thief in the night, someone who likes to move into the shadows. I myself can do a little bit of that as well, but this here bow, this is my life. This is my lifeblood. Your targets from 600 feet out, gone. It's everything to me. But to not like get too much into it, she's good at sneaking. She's good at fighting, if she needs to with two hands, or she's really good with a bow.
Interesting.
So is she a fighter or is she a ranger?
Technically, she's a ranger. You see like a little bit of like a hint of, kind of like a woodland aesthetic. She is a wood elf. Sorry, I should have made that clear. She's a wood elf. So she does have a little bit of that like aesthetic, like a little bit of nature trinkets and stuff on her, jewelry of such. But yeah, very good with a bow. Very good at hiding and sneaking. So if you ever would like help with that, she'd be more than happy to. And has a little bit of like a nature quality too.
Most impressive. Tell me, you have a favored terrain, an area you excel at?
Honestly, it's kind of all the same to me. For me personally, I grew up in the Face, so learning how to navigate that wild is a little bit different than here on the material plane. Everything is enhanced there. It's not just magnificent colors and creatures, and that's all there. Don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of emotions. It's a lot of heavier stuff that can happen. But for me personally, no. The terrain is I deal with it as it comes, whether it be the tundra, the desert, the forest, or anything. I can adapt to it. That's one of my best qualities.
Adaptive. Checkbox.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, hey, you had me at the finger game. The song alone. The song carried me through. I'm sold.
This is too easy. This is the best crowd I've ever had in years. But if there is anything that I don't like, it's the followers of Lolth. I hate those motherfuckers. I've been down in their
so.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. They're fucking terrifying. Those Driders, I don't know if you've ever experienced them. Horrible creatures. She's just a goddess of pain and suffering. And look, for your kind, Julian, immense amount of respect for what your people are doing, coming above ground in fighting against that fight.
Take all the credit, Julian. Take all the credit.
Do it.
I will.
Your people.
Yeah, you did it, Julian.
Had a rough history. It's been a great struggle.
Question is the that cult that you explained in your background a while ago, the Harbingers, are they of Lolth or are they just like some cult?
No, they are of. Top of my head.
Honey, you gotta speak up. I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're dropping out a little bit.
I know they are of one of the Betrayer gods. I don't remember which off the top of my head.
I think
Most of the ones we've come across have been of Tiamat or Grunge.
Either way, they all die the same. But I spent my time in the underground, or excuse me, the what's it called? Underdark. Being in the darkness, being one with it, that's where I tend to excel. But obviously, circumstances always ain't like that. But what she's also trying to get at too is, just if it helps everyone, monstrosities. She can't stand them. Dryads are monstrous, just stuff like that. Doesn't want to stand for it. But you also see that she's the type of one to want to bring hope in inspire and do everything when times like get tough. Like if there's no one to be a champion or anything, she would want to stand up or have somebody else. She wants to tell magnificent tales of heroism and all of that. So she makes that known too. I just don't know. I don't have anything for that right now. But it seems, I see you guys got a couple of badges right there too with the allegiance. I myself have one. And then she lifts up a piece of her leather.
You have one already?
Honey, look, I don't like saying my age. I'm 511 years, and you keep that to your fucking self, okay? I still got looks for days.
Okay.
But I've been around for a bit. And as she peels back her leather, you see that she has one of the older, I guess crests or emblems of the allegiance. A little bit older, it's dated, but it still holds. So, getting down into the archaeological place is not a problem for her.
Good to find a new, hopefully, as long as all the rest of the group are in agreement, a new companion that seems to be rather connected.
Well, if you have
Absolutely.
anything, if you have anything else for me, just ask me at any time. Like I said, call me Julia, you can call me Julia Gulia, you can call me Big Mama, JG, it don't matter.
JG. Are we supposed to have I noticed everybody has these badges. I don't have one of these badges. Is this going to be an issue?
We haven't gotten one.
Oh,
Thank,
alright.
thank you for bringing that up, Winston. We'll be sure to stop by and get you one.
Maybe you can get like a visitor's pass or something.
I'll take a guest pass.
A
Yes,
visitor's
please.
pass.
Real quick note here. Julie Gulia, who's been around, I don't want to make you roll like an Arcana or history check for this. You would have heard about them. The Harbingers of the Core are an aberrant cultist group who gather in the lands of Blightshore, to the far, sort of past Growhouse to the far east shores. The reach Blightshore and sort of worship creatures born from the dreams of the Elder Evils. We're talking like Cthulhu shit, like outer spheres.
Right on. Okay.
Yes.
'Cause I was trying to do a little bit of research, and I thought I saw their name attached to Children of Lolth, but maybe I just confused that.
I won't rule out cooperation between the two, but they're definitely two different factions. Yes.
Point being, I've had
Yes.
to handle some of those bastards in the past, so you're welcome.
Yeah,
Good on
your
you.
wisdom and experience is most welcome.
Absolutely.
Well, this is coming off to a great start. So, if there's anything else you guys need, you can come ask Big Mama.
Did you want to join us to our next stop, or did you just want us to come and get you next time we go on an adventure?
No, it's the early morning. I gotta stretch my legs still. I want to see what you guys do and how you carry yourselves. Make sure this is a good fit. So where were you off to?
I believe we were off to the archive.
A great place to start.
You need to
She's
find
gonna-
information about the tomb.
Yeah.
Fair.
Or
Yeah.
music?
Yeah, I think that we should update. I don't know if we need to RP it, but update Julia Gulia on
Along the way you can. Yeah.
Yeah, about
can-
the tomb and
Yeah.
yeah.
You tell me all about it.
We tell you all about it, say we need to go learn more about it. Yay.
Okay.
Everything we know.
Knowledge is power, and knowing is
Was,
half the battle.
Oh,
Tom, was Bardet not in that lady place?
No, Burden was not there. It's an old token from way past.
in the lady place.
Okay. When I saw her, I was like, hang on a second. I was
She's just fucking with you, Julian.
Fair enough.
I'm getting visions.
You're getting haunting visions out of the corner of your eye, perhaps guilt. You make your way out of the shade then, sort of as you make your way through the busy day streets of the Sankal Bazaar, telling Julia Gulia all about your recent adventures. Nia, at lead, you had to, when you say the archives, what do you mean?
Like, I want to go talk with bookkeeper Kime.
Oh, Bookkeeper Kimmich, yeah. So you head over to the Sigil District, the academic district of Uncarel, right over yonder. And we would be here then, talking to Kim. Sure. I'm just putting visual on the map for the sake of looking at something. Again, don't need to heavily RP it. What sort of information are you looking for, specifically?
Basically, Naya would go up to him and basically ask him if he had any information about the vault, about this ancient city, or even if he had any records of a lightning dragon on this continent.
I have many records on both lightning, blue dragons. I imagine are the ones you're talking about. Lest you talk about the quartz kind, which don't really reside on Marquette. He goes on a whole spiel there, then refocuses. I also do have letters from previous expeditions by the allegiance to various temples. You're looking for specifically which one? The name of? Okay, fine, I won't torture you for it.
Go on,
Everybody
speak up.
remembers the name.
He's asking you a question.
He like leaves through her notes that I don't actually have.
Mhm.
Unfortunately.
It's fine, I won't torture you for it. The Vault of Shumas, then. Let me see here.
That's the one.
And he goes, and after 5 minutes of browsing around, he retrieves a few letters and records of previous allegiance of expedition. The Vault of Shumas in itself. What can I tell you about it? Let me look it up here. Shumas. From what you can tell, correlating information points that the Vault of Shumas is a hidden temple in the mountains that once belonged to like one religion from the beginning of like the Age of Arcanum. This would be close to 1600 years ago. Until just before the Calamity, when it was like, brutally taken over by another religion's adherents and sort of passed down between factions, being used as both tombs to ancient heroes of the Age of Calamity, especially those of the floating cities, Zemnias, Aeor, who helped defend those cities before they crashed. To honor them. Later on fell to a curse because of the various religious mal rituals that happened there. And of course, when spirits are not properly laid to rest, sometimes they are pulled back from the veil of the extraplanar. Aside from being haunted, it seems to have recently, from what you can tell, have fallen to be a lair of this blue dragon. Information on blue dragons, precisely what you're looking for.
Trying to see if between her own knowledge and the knowledge available in the library of if there were any specific like resistances or weaknesses known to. She should probably know this being a lightning dragon board, but actually no, she's thunder, but still.
Roll me. This will be a research. Arcana or investigation? You roll your choice here.
Go with investigation.
I'll help as best I can.
Sure. We grab another book. Go ahead and roll on top of that. I'll allow just 2 people though we're not stockpiling on top of each other.
Oh, yeah. You want me to roll? For sure. Oh, you're going to find out.
Yep.
We're going to unearth all the answers in life.
Fair enough. Winston, you find the more obvious details. Being an entity of storms, as is lightning being the element they are immune to, lightning damage, them channeling it. Let me find out. I can't tell. They're like taking me in a direction I did not prepare for, so give me 2 seconds here. Vain creatures, dragons they are, greedy, prideful, tending to, especially the chromatic kind, tending to stick to their original powerful forms. Blue dragons are the exceptional ones where they excel in spying and taking the form of humanoids to sort of integrate into society and lure creatures to their dens. Therefore very, very much skilled in like that stealth and sort of perceiving the hidden. You research encounters throughout history, especially that of Brimscythe, the blue dragon that attacked Exandria 20 years ago, a big old ancient dragon of the Chroma Conclave. If putting two and two together, most likely this is a brood of Brimscythe, inheriting that same frightful presence and ability to manipulate lightning even in its lair. These dragons tend to fight in their lair either by luring victims to it or awaiting others to return to it. It is very hard to lure one out of its lair unless that dragon is actively hunting. They have power over sands throughout, capable of conjuring giant storms and dune dust devils to sort of guard their facilities and lair, capable of burying their victims alive in sand. And very hard to fell when it comes to like magic like blight or anything that challenges one's constitution to sort of really test the body. They tend to have a resistance to that sort of thing. Same thing with spells that bend the mind. Anything that would manipulate their force of character, charisma essentially, will also possible but very, very difficult task. The dragons growing to immense size, your blade will mostly find them successfully if you were to like challenge their large forms. They're not very dexterous creatures, slow and lumbering. In flight they're fast, but they're not very adept at dodging because they're such a large creature. Oftentimes people like will use ranged weapons like giant ballistas and stuff to just target the wings, clip them out of the skies, and then net them and kill them like that. Not sure what else you guys are looking for in terms of information here.
Is there a map of the vaults of Shumas?
Yes, it is mapped.
There we go.
You.
That's what I want to see.
If you were to just take your average map of I think I have one around here somewhere. A map of not Wild Mount, but Marquette. There we go.
Well, you guys were also saying something about some kind of celestial voice and everything. Did you guys ever figure that out?
Yeah, I was hoping that Keem, that perhaps I'm not sure if that's something that you're particularly specialized at, but we definitely our druid over here, she kind of point over it. He sensed celestial power coming from quite a few different locations in the vault, and you said that these succumbed to curses and whatnot. It looked from the murals that we saw on the walls, it looked like it was an orcish people that presided in this ancient city. Is there anything noted as to like what kind of curse they fell to, and perhaps when we go back, if after hopefully dragon goes down, if maybe we can help release them from their curse?
At some point, like the monocle that he's squinting his face to keep just drops out of his face. He's trying really hard to concentrate on what your actual question is till he pieces it together. You're speaking of our ancient ancestors. Marquette used to be a lost jungle once. Elves resided here in the holy city. I'm sure it went by another name at the time. And then the calamity happens, the war between the gods, the betrayers, and the Prime. When Groomsh, angered by Corellian, sought to strike down this very earth and destroy the continent, he was challenged by Corellian and his armies. And the curse you speak of is what is considered one of the many myths of creation of orc kind. Some accept them, some challenge them. It is a matter of debate, as all religion is, but one of the accepted theories, and probably what you saw upon that place, is the birth of all kind from Grumsh's blood. From when upon the Corellian struck his eye out of his skull and spilled his Grumsh's blood upon the land. I wouldn't so much call it a curse as a rebirth, an inception of a people. And to cleanse it, to reverse such a mighty deed, will take a miracle. Very powerful magic. Seldom heard of. Not since the age of Arcanum. Not since the fall of the great cities, of that of Zemnius and Eor and other such societies who were on the brink of researching such magics as to tame reality and time itself. Theoretically, if one were to reverse time far enough, he could undo this event, but as it stands, the people sought to move on and live in harmony, for the most part. Of course, there's some still Grumsh loyalists out there who deny such creation myths and believe in the purity of their kind, even going so far as to deny Grumsh ever losing his eye and calling it all falsity, but that is a whole conversation we could have as a debate over many days.
Thank you very much for the clarification on that. Definitely hearing it from your knowledgeable lips versus trying to put the pieces together, looking at the mural, definitely provides some clarity on the legend.
The only record I have of this mural, and the only reason why I even recognize it, is because I had somebody drop by here recently, a fellow tabaxi, with imprinted pages, charcoal, sort of drawn over the pages to make reliefs. I don't know what to call it, like relief? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, when you trace like charcoal over a page to make. And he shows you Clandestine's very recent sketches of the place. These are the most fresh recordings we have of the place. The Wall of Shumas has not been visited in quite some time. You speak of some celestial entity. I'm afraid I do not have much insight into that. It sounds mysterious, exciting. But the Wall of Shumas is not a safe place that we will send our own to investigate at this time. Nor does it really hold anything of interest to us, as far as I know. We are more concentrated on Khal Moreau as of late for the past 10, 20 years.
They're there.
Silver, you brilliant cat.
While they're there, Naya would take the time to fill out an entry report for the allegiance of their quest, I guess.
Sure. Team appreciates it. Yep.
What's the procedure for like checking out documents and books from you?
Nothing here can be checked out, but you're more than free to remain here in the library and do your research.
Oh. Okay.
Theft is unheard of, and my job as bookkeeper is to make sure that our records are complete.
Okay.
You're more than welcome to stay.
We
I guess
knew.
We should go to Go on, listen.
Yeah. We knew or had evidence of a sphinx, no? I believe
Kind
that.
of. There
I
was
believe
a
that.
bunch
There
of
was
Sphinx
whiskers.
imagery
Oh,
all
yeah.
over the place.
Oh yeah, we would
Whiskers?
tell in while she was filling out the report for the book, she would have given really basic details about the ploy of, or more, not the ploy, but like the fate of Barda. Yes, we agreed on that. Before I do that, she would kind of like give like an eye to her group and be like, yes, we agreed we wanted that was something we were sharing.
So,
I
We uncovered
think
her
we
death.
should bring that
That's what
directly
you're saying?
to.
So as you regale the full report and you tell of this sudden finding as, oh, by the way, one of you guys is dead and we left the corpse behind, he tried to refit his monocle back into his eye slot and he just drops it again and just shatters on the floor. Like, why are you telling me this? You must report this to the headmasters at once.
I was
Next
gonna
up.
say we should
next
report that directly to the Allegiance.
Yeah, that was a big jump from Sphinx to we found a murder. But while we're here,
A dragon in our midst.
while we're
Honey, it's called
here,
subtlety. Jesus Christ.
is there any
Hey,
literature
chill out.
on?
Don't be so
on-
loud.
on
Okay, trying to
Sphinx?
Please stop yelling. This is a library. One at a time. Is the literature on what?
Sphinx.
Sphinxes. Yes, I might have a record here, though we have not encountered one in some time, which I have general knowledge. I won't make a rule for it. There's some general knowledge. Real makers, sacred isolationist sphinx, tend to be mythical creatures. Very rare, very rarely encountered because they tend to take over, sort of how like a loon bird takes over an entire lake as its territory, and there's not like two mated pairs of loon birds in one lake. There are not two mated pairs of a gyne sphinx and an androus sphinx in an entire continent. Therefore, the sacred isolationists guard the secrets and treasures of the gods themselves, sometimes major sites of history. They are very calm and regarding indifferent creatures, only caring about the tasks given to them by the divine itself, or very, very powerful entities. They tend to test parties before them, and those who fail, their bones supplement and act as a supplication in their divine rituals, which is prayer to the gods that put them there. But oftentimes, whenever faced with things, they tend to push you to the test. Creatures of great wingspan, according to some drawings presented before you. They look like tawny leonine bodies, rippling with muscle and possessing like these four paws, powerful enough to like tear humanoids in half. Very powerful creatures. As mentioned before, divine guardians. Sphinxes test the worth of those who seek the treasure of the gods themselves, whether forgotten secrets or mighty spells, artifacts or magical gateways. Creatures that choose to face the Sphinx's test are bound to that test unto death. And only those worthy will survive it. The rest, the Sphinx destroys. Some Sphinxes are high priests of these guys that created them, but most are simply embodied spirits, if you will, brought into the mortal realm by devout prayer or direct intervention. These Sphinxes maintain their vigil tirelessly, not needing sleep nor needing to eat. They rarely engage with other of its kind, knowing no other life except its sacred mission. Very, again, isolationist. Tales of these magic tests sort of stretch historical record. Sort of skipping over this lore dump here to really focus on important bits. It has not heard of that certain people not wise enough to undergo the Sphinx's challenges as challenged by brute force, attacking the Sphinx. In that way. So where wisdom fail, strength might prevail. Benign deities sometimes grant a Sphinx the power to remove supplicants that fail their tests, transporting them away and ensuring that they never encounter the Sphinx again. Almost bending time and reality itself, creating pocket dimensions and such. But more than often, as I mentioned before, those who fail Sphinx's tests typically meet a gruesome end beneath the Sphinx's claws. They're extraplanar beings, which might explain why you sense like a celestial aura on this. entity. Mortals that often encounter sphinxes do not do so most often in ancient tombs, like the one you've been near, or like ruins. But some sphinxes can access extraplanar realms. A conversation with a sphinx that begins between, say, tumbled stone walls might suddenly shift to like an alien locale, such as a life-size game board or like a daunting cliff that must be climbed in a howling storm. They bend time and space around them. Sometimes the Sphinx must be summoned from such a extra-dimensional space, with supplicants calling it from its empty lair. But really, it's up to the Sphinx to like admit itself to you, find you worthy. All of this is made possible to you via knowledge only by researching falling sphinxes, whether through awareness of the ages or regret at the slaughter of innocents or dreams of worship by supplicants that attempted to bargain their way to knowledge. These sphinxes broke free from their divine command and shared this knowledge onto mortal kind. Thus, they're not such a coy species. It's not unheard of that a sphinx's like sort of mission alignment and lotus drift in their way, but it never leaves the place it guards or grants its secret to any except creatures it deems worthy. Whether it has a change of personality from its original purpose or not, it never leaves the place it's at. I feel like that's more than enough information given this place regarding this creature. Unless you guys feel like there's something else that you guys want from me.
No, that
Okay.
was a lot of information.
Yeah.
The only thing I would ask as a follow-up is there any anecdotes, any notes on wisdom tests, documented wisdom tests from Sphinx? I heard strength, but I also heard that wisdom might sometimes be a test they perform.
No, that seems to be something that you'll have to encounter in person.
Okay.
That seems like something that you would like encounter if you open a door or something. I don't know, something crazy, Go there, open a door.
Imagine if we did that.
Imagine opening a door.
Too dangerous.
If only we would
yes.
open doors.
Only.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like we need to
So-
open this door next time we go.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to open some
Perhaps.
doors.
Perhaps.
Yes.
Agreed. Opening doors sounds
So
like
it
a
seems
very
like-
good idea.
Jesus Christ, this
Seems
guy's
like
love
what we
doors.
next need to do is go to the Legions of All Sight, talk to the
Go see
headmaster,
Gris.
report what we found, report the order that was given to us upon our return. See if we can. It's possible that the Legions of All Sight might own their own sky ship that could take us there. But if
Let's go
not, we can
see
see
Gris.
if they have an Archmage of Conjuration to and then bring them back to the library so that we can show them all the information about this place we want them to teleport us to.
She
Well, they
would
seem to
Right
have-
on.
She'd turn back to Klein and be like, "Thank you very much for all of your knowledge and wisdom that you've shared with us from this great place."
The library.
Kind of taking like a look around at all the books and kind of just giving a big sigh that she can't stay there all day. And would turn to her friends and just be like, "So are we ready to go visit Gris?"
Thank you, library.
Okay, so you guys leave and visit the headmasters in the Crystal Chateau. For the sake of expediency, so we don't have to like roleplay you guys retelling this whole adventure. Fair to say that you guys retail without hiding away any details.
I would hope so.
I think.
Definitely,
We would-
I wouldn't hide
Yeah,
anything.
Didn't we say we were
No,
gonna?
there's no hanging
Didn't
on.
we say we were gonna hide?
Share everything.
Mm?
Hang on. Didn't we say we kind of want to keep to ourselves the fact that the mirror teleported into the Emperor's room? Didn't we just want
Yeah.
to say that it teleported to just like a spot in
Just
the city?
somewhere. Yeah, just somewhere in Alcarel that we didn't recognize.
Oh, I forgot about that until this moment.
Yeah.
So I would still be honest. I just forgot that was a thing. I thought, yeah,
Don't
I
want
would
to
share
cause,
everything we experienced in the.
We don't want to
temple.
potentially spread rumors throughout the city about the Emperor being in allegiance with some other dragon.
That's fair. Yep.
Fair enough. Okay, so that will put us then in the headmaster's office as you guys regale the details, except for the mirror. The Allegiance outside expresses an interest of retrieving the body of
Wait, who's this?
Burdett. I'm James Cryan.
Ah,
We've met before.
my bad. Thank you. Hi again, James. I was expecting to see Grizz.
He's currently busy somewhere else. I am most impressed. And that is not something I often do. Be impressed. Prolix, you're dismissed. Sorry, Prolix is still here for some reason. The priority lies in retrieving the body of Baudet. She has served us a long time. We would want to see her body returned to her family. That is priority number one. The dragon, while a threat, is only a secondary option here. At your resource, I would see to it that our Archmage of Conjuration prepares a circle for you to travel there if my understanding you are capable of providing some sort of navigatory assistance in this matter.
We are.
Very well. I can't help but notice two new faces in my office. These are your companions, I take it?
Oh yes, very much.
Hmm.
We haven't had the
Yes,
pleasure of meeting before.
I do seem to somewhat recognize your face from somewhere before. It has been on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't.
Oh, an admirer. Yes.
Yes,
You
my
heard
name
the
is
story.
Sir Winston. I'm so glad that you recognized me finally.
Right.
I want Winston to have it.
Nothing else that
Go for
Gordon
it.
holds a badge to this organization.
Go ahead, Nick.
No, I want you to have it. I thought
Yes,
that was
I'm
really funny.
sure you've seen my face. Yes, I am Sir Winston. I've accomplished many a deed, and I am a newcomer to the city, and it's so wonderful that my face precedes me.
And he looks over to the rest of you. You've known him for long enough for him to be trusted, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, we trust him.
Yes, yeah, they trust me. Oh, I can answer for them. Yes,
Well,
yes.
we could use the muscle. We could use the brawn as well as the brain. Fair enough. See to this.
If we retrieve Bardet's body and bring her back, would you say this is that would be suitable for Winston to earn his badge?
Certainly. Anybody who would brave such a distance, such a venture into the deserts, for the sake of our archaeological partners, bring her home safe and see to it, would earn at least a first step into the university grounds. I cannot speak for this man's capability learning the arcane, but I will not deny help in this dire time. That goes to the other new face in our midst. Is I can't help but think we've met before.
How old is James?
He's a full-on elf, so
Okay.
old.
I don't know, like. Well, sweetie, my reputation, maybe you've heard of the name Julia Gulia or, Big Mama somewhere. Me and Grizz, we go back a few years. I've been around a little bit. I'm one of the original members or so. And she takes out her badge and
Isn't
it's
Grizz
like,
a
it's
goblin?
older.
I'm having awful deja vu right now. It's as if you sat there in that very seat with another group way back when. Oh, alright. He shakes off the feeling. He's like, well then. You've done such a wonderful job so far in your counter-espionage. In fact, we are looking forward for your return. There's matters in Calmaro, but those can wait. I trust my team to hold off just a little longer for Bardette's body to be returned. I must warn you, you must ensure that you have ample evidence of some visual aid in guiding our Archmage of Conjuration to teleporting there, lest we risk a mishap. We've had that happen before, and it was quite unfortunate. We barely had any to bury when the deed was done. So, we do not mess around anymore. You have to be 100% sure you are capable of getting there. Alternatives will, of course, be taking a skyship, for this is a matter of haste. But the choice is yours.
Is there
Does the,
any...
Right? Especially considering the fact that you have griffins waiting on the other end, and not to speak of a cub of a very rare species that I would very much like to see return to safety. They are, after all, a protected species.
Does the Allegiance of Osai have a ship that they could lend us for this mission? We don't really have the funds for renting the ship.
We do. In fact, we had a ship return about a week ago from the far reaches of Krohas. I can speak to the captain and have it rerouted just for this brief journey of 2 days' time to and through. I'm sure delays in other shipments would be not an issue when it comes to the matter of retrieving the body for one of our own.
That sounds like an excellent idea. I would, just in case for, to have a backup, I would like to still meet with this Archmage of Conjuration. I know there's a permanent magic circle here. They can teleport back under extreme measures.
Honey, you're fading out. You're going in and out there.
Just a moment. James Graham seems to close his eyes from concentrating on a spell, gesticulating, and you recognize it being sort of like a message spell. You've seen some of your party members perhaps use it at one time, or some of you more arcane inclement would recognize it, as he alters a message summoning a... Let me see here. I have to generate a name.
What's this guy doing?
Yeah.
Delphon.
I'm going with it's more the sending spell than the message spell, because the message spell is a pretty short.
Yeah, sending is what I meant. So,
Delphon.
are you telling me a name right now?
Yeah.
Delphon?
Yeah, Delphon Lambuter.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm just spitting stuff.
What?
I like it.
Delphondus, could you please come to my office? And a few moments later, you see, you feel the floor shake a bit with the mass of the individual approaching. You first see bony tusks, then like a trunk, sort of open the door, and finally a large Loxodon fellow, dressed in white robes, wise looking, with a curious red dot and white crescent tattoo on their forehead. And I already forgot her name. What was the name? I'm just going to type it up.
Delphon.
Delphondus.
Oh, I love that. Elephant named Delphon.
Yes. Delphondus, would you be so kind as to spare some of your knowledge and arcane essence this day to usher forth these individuals, should they choose to the distant Shumas temple? I know you are unfamiliar with the place, but they have assured me that they have means of showing you an accurate representation of the place. The captain agreement. Delphondus spreads out his Loxodon hands, thick grey skin and large fingers, gracefully spread out in an arcane gesture of agreement as he begins to practice some of the gesticulations, beginning to become more familiar with it. I shall see you all in the atrium then. And he, with his...
How long would it take?
Yes.
Sorry, continue.
10 minutes, no more. Once the ritual is underway.
Ask, James.
Yes.
I was gonna ask James, how long would it take to prepare the ship for travel?
Arrangement could be probably made hastily within half a day's time.
I would still like to take the offer to journey through ship there. I would simply like Delphonis to accompany us, just in case there needs to be an emergency exit.
He wouldn't come with us, would he?
Well, honey, Well, hold on. I don't know if she would know. Don't forget, you have the tablet. Worst case scenario.
I think we were trying to save that for Kalmaro, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Plus, Delphonsus has duties here as Archmage of Conjuration, and this being... they're not going to put the entire Terrace Schoolhouse on pause. They're going to send you on this mission.
We can get a substitute teacher for like 2 days, 4 days.
It would be very wise for you to learn the answer of no early.
Naya would kind of look at James and be like, we do have a teleportation tablet. However, this is definitely rare, and we're hoping to save it for once we get down to Kalmaro. If for whatever reason we need to use it in this adventure, would it be an item that the Allegiance would be able to perhaps replace if we needed to use it on this mission?
If you provide a coin, anything can be replaced.
Well, how much for such a thing?
Okay, fine, I'll look it up.
Well, I mean, we can deal with it later. First,
Yeah.
we can deal with this.
We answered the basics of a question, which is it replaceable, and the answer was yes.
We glazed over the skyship option though.
I think we decided to go with the
I feel
skyship
like-
option.
Well, if we teleport, that's the fastest.
Can I just out of game real quick ask you guys? So we're just saying we're ignoring the cult, right? For now.
Yeah, for
We're trying
now.
to get
As
this
is
done, I
for
think,
now.
the fastest.
It would appear so, yes.
If we want to do this the fastest, then we should go to the Blue Dragon and come
Right.
back, and then immediately
Oh.
hit up Sahir.
Like not doing the whole like steal the ship from the cult, none of that, right? That's cool.
But
We might deal with them later, you know.
Cool.
Who
okay.
knows what comes up?
Sounds good.
for now,
Maybe this ship gets destroyed. We want to travel somewhere else. It's like, hey, we still have that steal the ship option.
What if we steal their ship and we just blow up the manor?
Naya would turn before
That'd be an act of terrorism.
we head out or anything. Naya would would turn back to the headmaster and be like, Headmaster, we've regaled our tale and our journey that we've seen. Would the Allegiance, as they have found many items over their archaeological digs and whatnot, would they have any items they would be able to lend to our party in aiding of not only retrieving Gardet's body, but perhaps in an efforts to protect the city fell this dragon?
You seem to mince your words a lot, lady. If you have an item in mind, I am more than welcome to send for people to find a seller. Our relics are kept in the Ibris Relic Hall and are kept here with us for study, not for being lost out there doing ventures and such. But I am more than happy to aid you if you're looking for a specific item in mind.
Point is if they would give us a loaner, therefore we don't pay for it, which looks like the answer is no. They would help
No.
us find a lender, or not lender, a
Mhm.
vendor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what
Regarding
she's
the-
asking for is perhaps if you have, the Holy Avenger sword available for us to just, I don't know, use.
The Holy Avenger Sword?
Yeah,
If I had
Yes,
in my
I'm
possession
sure.
the Holy Dragon Lance who could slay this dragon in one stroke, I would have absolutely no need for you, now would I?
Or perhaps a more basic worm slayer of some
but there's
kind.
always, I can't let go of this, there's
More
always
basic
need for
worm
spur.
I believe one of my more astute students, Mr. Sean Gilmore, sells just a thing in his shop just across the bazaar over yonder. Should you have the coin to buy it?
Regarding the tablet again, could we trade the tablet that we have for one belonging to
I knew it. I knew I was going to list the price for it. It was like, you're like, can we sell it? Fucking immediately.
What do
Can we trade it for what,
I'm
Lorian?
asking for a trade. A one for one, the tablet that we have for one belonging to the Allegiance. Because the tablet
Like,
that we
switch
have is one that
locations,
was
you
dropped
mean?
by Aloysia.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah, the
because
one
the
that we
tablet
have
that we
goes to the
have
Sun
belongs
Cub
to
Bazaar.
Aloysia.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could.
But we know where it
It
comes
can be
out.
reprogrammed, yeah.
Just one. We know that it comes out.
Oh, it can just be reprogrammed. Okay.
Yeah, essentially you will program it. Yeah,
Okay, that's even better.
you will.
Yeah, let's reprogram the tablet while we're
We
waiting
already
for
know
the
where
ship
it
to be ready
goes.
as well.
Why? Why do you want to reprogram it?
But why would we want to why would we want to use a tablet that teleports to the Vermilion?
It doesn't go to the
Like,
Vermilion, it
location,
goes to
when
the
we can
Sun
just
Cup
Vermilion.
Bazaar, right out on Amikesni.
Sir
Yeah.
Winston stands tall, cape billowing. Sissy. Let's just adventure.
Do we have a draft in
See
here?
where life
then.
takes us.
I mean, if we if we do use this tablet to like teleport back, do we really want to be carrying a dead body to the city? Just
Why
teleport
not?
Just straight to the allegiance.
Everybody should witness the glory of our return and returning
know
with
if
the
that's,
body from
so
the
glorious.
tombs.
I don't know if that's so glorious.
Well, coming back with the trophy will be something like
Yeah.
a dragon's head, scales, anything of
Sure.
the matter.
Let me ask
That will
you.
be making quite the spectacle.
I'm hearing a sort of a dichotomy in this conversation. Are you, or are you not, confident you're capable of fulfilling this task as you are, giving a ship, which is, as you say, a loner? You would not be charged for the voyage. That is already me extending hand enough for the sake of retrieving this body, but the dichotomy worries me. Are you, or are you not capable of this, or shall I call for more able-bodied adventurers?
We're
Able-bodied.
more than capable. Absolutely.
What he said. Best of the best.
What
That is the sort of attitude I love
No
to
one's better
hear.
than us.
There we go.
Agreed, most agreeably.
You
Okay,
hardly
that's-
require
Right, Winston?
a worm slayer. There you go.
We don't need no worm slayer. We slay
I'll
worms
kill
with
the
our words.
dragon with the mere dagger.
My apologies, Headmaster. I am the cautious member of this group, and I am the over warrior, and I just always want to look for the every item possible that could help us. But as my group has iterated, we are confident in our abilities.
Perhaps. No. He chooses to keep quiet on that one.
I don't think we've instilled a lot of confidence.
Okay. Unless anything else is added, I don't have much else from James Crown. You guys inform him of the situation, and he's willing to provide you guys with a ship, arrange for a crew, do a lot of the job on your behalf within half a day's time, which is miracle work. But he has resources. He is a powerful individual. He can arrange for a ship should you wish to. Captained by a familiar face.
Yeah.
Should
And
you
I
choose
just want to clarify, this loner, air quotes here, skyship, will it be outfitted with cannons?
Certainly. The Storm's Horizon is top of its class. It is more suited for long-term journeys than battle, but it has its defense means. I can speak to Captain Antashanti and have it equipped. Speak to, I suppose, Ikrid, the quartermaster, and arrange for the Fireforge to supply us a few arcane cannons.
The Storm's Horizon, that's the ship that carried the sandworm, no?
Yes.
I think there's no better ship to run the sky. We should
It
take
is
advantage of this.
your only choice.
We will take advantage of this because it is our only choice.
Mhm. Of course, you would need a crew. Let me see here. We have the helmswoman, Natalia Merck. We have Durban, Holdfast, siege engineer, ship surgeon, master of guns. I suppose you need a cook. Oh, this is a lot to arrange. If you would just simply give me half a day's time, I shall contact you when it is ready.
That sounds good. Thank you, James.
Thank you for all of your
Professor.
help, Headmaster.
Of course.
Yeah, it's very kind of you.
I swear we've met before. Anyways. Fair enough. Delphantis will be available should you wish to use his services and risk the teleport spell in the teleportation atrium. Otherwise, he'll be found in his office or classroom in a Terra schoolhouse. That is your choice. I would imagine at this point the party would like to depart on other business, whatever it may be. And because it's 9:45, I feel like we can wrap up session here, correct?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay.
I would like to add one thing, food for thought. This would be after we've left the headmaster's chamber, and kind of she would approach JG with regards to, you mentioned that you're very skilled with the bow. We spoke a bit about a worm slayer in Gilmore's shop. However, but that seems to be out of our price range. There was an additional item there that perhaps you would be able to take advantage of. I saw a dragon arrow there that was much less expensive than the sword.
I mean, it's definitely possible, but trying to get a hit on through such tough armor, that's the challenging part, is trying to get it off its off guard, or trying to get the best shot on it. It's a one-time deal. Doable, but you need a lot of coordination for it. But I've been traveling for a little bit, and with everything I have going on from home, and all of my funds are all tied up. Roth IRAs and stuff, got to retire soon. I don't have the funds for it.
Fair enough.
For the half a day that we're kind of just chilling out, waiting to get James's message that the ship is ready, do we want to maybe recruit some people to help us?
The crew.
Try it.
The ship's crew.
Well, hold on.
I
So are
think the
we
ship's
just...
crew.
Well, I was gonna say, are we going just for the ship now? Because I thought we had a good idea doing the teleportation. Because we have those griffins there still, so we can always take them back. And he can supply the ship, but I don't know if they require compensation or not. At least them to
Something
go
we just
on it.
want is the ship. I'm guessing as long as the ship isn't destroyed, there's no issue with just borrowing the ship for this expedition to get Barnett's body back and then going back.
The thing is, what we learned earlier is that trying to get a blue dragon out of its lair is going to be incredibly hard.
I
they
wasn't planning
Well-
to fight it out of its lair.
Okay.
I don't. I'm
Yeah,
hoping
but
it stays in there.
the Blue Dragon also took down another sky ship. So if there's a reason
that's,
for
one thing
it
I'm worried about.
to
Yeah,
come out
if
of
we
its
can-
lair,
Make a reason. I'm not sure what yet.
I'm just gonna say that a whole bunch of cannons are gonna do a lot better of a job than us on foot in a dragon den.
Maybe.
No,
What's the damage range of a
no,
cannon?
there's no
Isn't it
maybe.
48 or something?
Cannons are gonna be brutal.
But do we want to try and recruit any other mercenaries or anyone to help us?
I think if we're
Or
going to make a
attract
name for
people
ourselves, it should
very-
just be us.
Yeah,
Maybe.
we can handle it.
It'd be showing that Fate's Fortune is too weak to do it on their own, even like how James said. So by doing this by ourselves, well, it's going to be a test for everyone, but it's more rapport.
I was thinking maybe something to
I
think
know.
about. I was thinking that maybe inviting the Maroon 6, now Maroon 5, with us could sort of show, hey, even though things have been tense between us because of Galsariat's actions, we don't want to completely burn the bridge. We're offering this share of glory and gold.
Well,
But
from what
why?
I've heard, you put one
Something
of
to
them
think
behind
about.
jail. They haven't been too
I mean,
keen.
he would have
I
been
heard
executed. That was the kinder resolution.
well,
Well,
what I heard from the grapevine is probably could have also just let him go or done anything else, but he's paying a price for what he did. I wasn't there that day or anything, though, but I know who, names get tossed around in, the dens and everything. And it looked like two of them, who you describe in Maroon, I know a little bit about them and their deeds. You know, maybe not be too keen on that. You'd have to climb up a pretty tall rock face to get them to agree.
Maybe.
And why do you want
I
to
was just
invite
thinking.
them? Like, what are you? Do you think that we're incapable of doing it on our own? What's the concern?
I don't think we're incapable. I just figured, extra arms, better chances, and it's not like this is something related to Elixion. We know that they are searching for their own glory, that they want to be great adventurers, and there's a little bit of friction between us because we're the only ones receiving these visions in Betrayer's Rise. Even though they were there with us, they didn't see the visions. The visions were only shown to us. It was almost as if like Elixion had chosen us for that quest. They're looking for, and it definitely rubbed them in the wrong way, even though, I mean, of course, it's not our fault that they didn't receive the visions, but I think it's worth trying to, I think it's even, we don't have to like argue with, we don't have to like try and convince them to come with us. I think it's worth sort of just like saying like, hey, we're going to do this thing. There's going to be treasure and fame and fortune to be earned. You're welcome to come with us if you want to, and then just leave it at that. Let them know that we don't.
Well, it depends on what's most important to you, Julian. For me, I feel like the name Fate's Fortune, Dragon Slayers, rings a better sound than Fate's Fortune had to also include their friends to bring down a dragon.
That's a
And
long
also,
name.
we don't know. We also don't know whether or not if they've seen or been contacted by Elixion. As from last we saw them at the arena, they seem to, and also just from our encounter with Galceria, they seem to have had access to Viridian items now. And from Melina and Riot and Julian's contact with Viridian, we know that these items can change and be a mode of contact in and of itself.
It's not uncommon for two mercenary groups in the past to help each other out when one might be down on their luck or something. There's like a kind of a unspoken brotherhood or whatever you want to call it. But if we're going to go this route, it's half the fame, it's half the treasure. If you're going to take it all. I think this is something that we can handle. They didn't seem too keen on you. That's why they were probably drinking in the den. I never really saw them too much before, but a couple words here and there. Well, I don't know the full history though, but I've only caught parts.
I mean, if no one else wants to, it was just an idea, suggestion.
I mean, it's definitely a route. I'm not going to put anything out of my mind, especially when it comes to a blue dragon. I just want to make sure that we're all trying to...
We have half a day to think about it.
Well, that half day is going to go quick. We're going to need supplies. We're going to make sure our mental fortitude is there. Finish anything up that you guys might need to do. I'm ready in a, flap up of a bird wing. Whatever the fucking expression is.
So are we planning skyship or teleportation?
Yeah, skyship. We've already made the arrangements. Imagine if we just didn't take the ship.
We just didn't take it after he put it all
Getting James
together.
to arrange it for us.
No, the ship was still yours. You're still in his office. You have to like decide what you guys are doing next session. That way we are clear on a goal. James did not arrange anything yet. He's waiting for your decision whether you take the teleporter, the ship, or other options.
Yeah.
Up to you guys.
Ship, definitely. Taking the ship.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the teleporter is the best way. It's just there and back real quick. We have the birds and everything.
But it has the
thing about the teleporter
Not
is
a
the
low
risk of
chance of failure.
effects. Yeah, not low chance. The main reason I was looking for a teleport alternative to begin with was just because like there was no way we could have afforded taking a ship there or more griffins. But if a ship can be lended to us by the allegiance for, purposes of retrieving Barnett's body, we can. That definitely is the best option.
It's not the best option. I'll tell you why. Because if you think about it, that ship, while armed, because every ship is armed to some degree, be it like small ballistas or whatever, it's not built for battle, which is something you have to consider.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. If you say so.
The dragon
We don't-
swoops down and gets one good hit on that ship, it might be over.
So you're thinking fighting the dragon within its lair?
I mean, we don't
It
have
usually
much
doesn't
options.
leave its lair, according to research.
I don't think
Not
it would
Melina.
necessarily
According to
be.
Nia's research.
But yeah,
would
based
need-
off our research that we did there with Krine and just whatnot, I don't think we should be very keen on battling it in an open environment, as the desert is a difficult place as it is, and then you put a blue dragon in there, and all of a sudden it's master of that domain and can just whip up a
So I'll give you-
sandstorm like that.
I'll extend on what I was trying to, because I can't be coy. Essentially, what I'm saying is you guys have options. Teleportation is fast, but risky. Taking the first ship offered to you guys is convenient, saving you money, but it's not armed for combat. So you have the risk of losing it altogether if you get attacked. Versus taking the ship belonging to Najesh, that might be better, right? Sort of considering who she is, the resources she has, and all that. What is an archaeologist's sort of travel ship compared to somebody who does what she does, whatever that may be. But hopefully you guys come to a consensus by next session, along with Will when he rejoins us. Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
The thing I'm
Well,
thinking
plans
is
make
we
plans.
probably never want to be fighting a dragon in the open air to begin with. Because if I was the dragon, what I would be doing is just be flying like hundreds of feet away, and then like swoop in for breath weapon and then fly back out hundreds of feet away, just like over and over again. There'd be like nothing we could do. So I would never even want to try fighting this thing in the air to begin with. I would definitely want to be trying to attack it inside of the
You cut out.
Tom is writing down notes for now how to attack us with the dragon. Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm just keeping quiet because I'm not here to argue about your planning with the party. I just don't want to say anything. Just
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that I'm trying to run a fun game. I'm not here to win.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what Will has to say about like what we've like the knowledge we've learned. I think Will watches the videos there when he misses the sessions, so we can also fill him in on everything just to see kind of where he's at, just to try to get like that person who like saw it from the outside kind of thing and kind of give his opinion, because he usually comes up with some fun things.
I would say that I'm all for the teleportation. It gets us there quickly, but just know that a ship outfitted with cannons, the range of those cannons are far. Thousands of
Just know that a sky ship that is actually suited for battle would make for a fun airborne battle. I'm not here to use breath weapon and retreat and do this lame ass strategy just to win D&D. That sounds like an awful ass session. I'm gonna do, if it comes to it, an epic battle to test your navigatory and battle skills with a ship, and it can be fun. Not everything has to be like optimized to the point where it's fucking banal. Banal?
Benign.
jerk like.
Well, like, invisible stalkers can just hit you and then retreat and you don't see them, or then they ambush you again until you die. Like, same thing. Like, hacks can just like stay invisible in the astral plane and just nightmare you to death. A dungeon master who plays like that, plays to win, makes for a very dull fucking campaign versus a challenge. And if you think that you're not matched to face off a dragon, perhaps you're right. That is also a very logical. It's like James Cran said, all he cares when you told him what this is, get the body back. Right? You, like, facing off this dragon, the treasures you guys are seeking, all that, auxiliary to Crayon, right? But, yeah. This could have been like Anthony said, I think earlier, before we started the session, he was like, we should just sneak into the temple, get the body, and get out. And like, that works too. Whatever you guys decide.
It might be nice to go see what the Celestial open that door.
Oh, we're definitely talking to Celestial.
Yeah,
There's
do
no
that.
way I'm not
Yeah.
gonna want to do that.
But that's also the
I
thing.
mean,
Like,
do we
have
really
to go
want to
in
open
the
the
temple.
door?
Yes,
Yes.
I went. I voluntarily avoided the door twice because the
Tom's
group
fucking
was
face.
naysayers. There will not be a thrice. I shall open that door.
We shall not deny Winston.
The way Tom
Thou
glared
shalt
at me
not
after I
deny.
said this.
Well, that was a great session, guys. Thank you very much, and see you guys in chat. I will try to keep up. Sometimes it's really hard because sometimes like I'm at work and like I see it at my lunchtime, and all of a sudden like over the last like 2 days there's like 300 messages, and I'm like, oh my god.
Keep up.
Yeah, it's hard
a
to
lot.
keep up sometimes.
It's a lot. It is a lot.
Especially like it was kind of like a lot of bouncing. There was stuff in RP, there was stuff in the regular chat, and it was kind of like all mixed together. So I found that a little bit challenging to keep up with, but I tried.
While we're still recording, I have a question, Tom, just unrelated to our planning here.
Yeah.
So the find steed.
So,
You summon a steed. Great. Now, say, I don't know, I put a bag on it, a rope, something, material on the steed, and I dismiss it, and it disappears wherever. If I were to resummon it, does it come back with said items, or is it, as it, a normal steed, whatever was on it just falls off when it disappears?
I would imagine whatever's on it falls off, because when it drops to 0 hit points, it disappears, leaving behind no physical form, right, of itself. Within reason, I would imagine. Like, I'm not gonna have you like pick up its barding and reins every time it vanishes, but
Riding gear aside.
But here's the thing, though: if I allow you to start vanishing items with like every time your steed puts something in its mouth, for example, then you can just have like a little genie pocket dimension, like a genie lamp or some shit, and that's like not what that spell does.
That's why I'm asking.
Within reason, yeah. Most items will just drop to the ground, just like any other summon.
Cool. Just wanted to clarify that.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, you were funny. I enjoyed it. I enjoy Gulia.
I put a lot of heart into her.
Go ahead. I noticed that. Go ahead and give yourself inspiration if you haven't already.
Yay.
Yep.
I will go ahead and do so. Thank you so much, Tom.
I thought it was really funny when you're like, I've seen you before, right? You're like, oh, I have a fan. And you're like, yes, it's me.
Finally, somebody notices me.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a nice team building exercise with 5-finger fillet. Although here's the problem though. I'm pretty sure Riot has said multiple times in the past that he has pause. And I'm like, oh buddy. Can't be doing no 5-finger fillet with you. There's no gaps there. I'm gonna stab right through your hand.
You just gotta be better. You just gotta do better.
Gotta get
It's a
that.
DC
Julian
20.
rolled
Yeah,
that
the
like
DC
Do that
20.
with Riot.
Julian rolled that 29. I feel like that would be right
Yeah,
about there.
that would work.
Riot and I have already bonded though.
Yeah, but bond more with
Yeah,
a
you gotta
fun
bond.
knife game
And bond harder.
that you might lose a
Fun
finger.
knife game.
No, I wouldn't cut a finger off, but I was gonna say like if she was to hit your hand or do anything, it would poke you or give a small cut. Now if it was a natural one, it'd be like, ooh, buddy, oof, that was a little bit deeper.
That would be quite an intro. Like, all right, everybody, I'm here to play this game. I'm gonna bond with you, Nat 1. I stab you.
Hey, where's that wizard mommy at? Tell her to come back.
Where's the silvery
Let me
barb
re-roll.
at?
Let me re-roll that. I was thinking about taking silvery barbs too, but I was like, nah, that's stupid. I'm not doing that.
So I just want to get us in there on record, especially for Wright when he later hears this and explain that. As a DM, I'm not a fan of saying no most of the time, but sometimes I do have to put my foot down. Never will in a campaign will I just give free magic items willy-nilly to loan to a party. That's
totally fine.
yeah. I just, in case anybody for whatever reason might have a problem with that, we can sort of discuss it now if need be.
Nobody should have a problem with that. That shouldn't even be an argument at all.
Sounds good. Okay, just want to make that clear that you are part of a faction that comes with a lot of pros already. You get free lodging, which, it's small but it's significant. It's a recognition of your very short-lived service to this faction. It's only been a week. You haven't even touched Calamaro yet, and you're already receiving all these benefits: free lodging, arranging a ship. I want to see how many fucking DMs on Reddit would even do that. Yeah, sure, I could cut the Alpha and Reunion schedule for this urgent, but I figure, if you put it on another scale, like everything you guys have done already, and retrieving the body of Bardet being one of their own, they'll make their sacrifices as well, because that's what a faction does. So, there's things I will lean toward a party. You guys don't want to take down a cult for a ship? That's fine. You guys want to use the faction benefits for a ship? Yeah, that's cool. You just will get less than you would have got if you put more effort into acquiring a ship, I suppose. Be it paying for your own, and I get it. The party doesn't have 10,000 gold to purchase a ship and dress it up. I get it, but this is I have these preset stat blocks for each ship in this campaign, and the Skies of the Horizon comes with a couple cannons, one on each flank, which are pretty much operated by 2 people. Yeah, we'll get into more details next session, but sort of giving you a preview where either you'll have crew skilled in gunnery operating them, or party members will operate them if you wish to do ship's combat. But that ship, I'm looking at it and comparing it to the challenge ahead, it has a chance, but more likely it will end up like that other Sky shipwreck in the desert if you purely rely on it for combat. Which brings to question then, okay, so you guys arrive with a Sky ship at the site, at the lair of the dragon, its control zone. Somebody was like, oh, it will never leave its lair. That's not what I want you guys to get out of the research. Maybe I mispronounced something or so. I'm not too sure. Dragons hunt. They get out of lairs. They travel. They have a 6-mile radius of just territory they claim off the bat in their control, and then they venture beyond it to hunt and stuff. So it will definitely be able to come out of its lair. You guys actually witnessed the way it can come out of its lair. Nick, you were not there, but the rest of the party did notice a hole in chamber in the upper sort of vaulted dome ceiling where it can crawl in and out of this place. Obviously, it's not making its way in and out via the front doors, thus it's in its humanoid form. So this dragon can easily venture in and out of its lair. And if you have a skyship outside of its lair, guess what happens? It can get attacked. So I will give you the benefit of, you guys are adventurers and would know these things. So prepare ahead for that possibility that the ship might get attacked. Unless you prevent it, of course. This is D&D. You can do whatever you want. You can prevent it from escaping its lair. None of the means if you figure it out. Seal the hole or whatever, sneak in, trick into staying in its lair, fight in its lair. Things like that. I don't know. All those options. There's always options. Yeah.
We just need to brainstorm and
Yeah.
then come up with pros and cons
Yeah.
with each scenario, and then what we value.
Yeah, I won't lie. I made the poll last week, asking you guys what's the plan, seeing where the votes go. We sort of entered a stalemate, so I sort of prepared a little bit of everything, but mostly the cult, because I was like, okay, they gotta come back to Alcorel, and people seem to be on board with stealing the ship, so I did a lot of prep on a Najesh manner and beyond. And obviously almost none into like, oh yeah, they're gonna go to James Cryon and all that. Elephant Man, I guess. Elephantus.
I'm sure it's not wasted time. I'm sure that we will get to the cult. It just things. It's a rabbit hole, as you know.
And I thought
we start to go down one tunnel, we're like, oh.
I think Nick and I talked about Joey Gulia's concept and all that, and at one point, I think we ditched an idea, but we got missing. We miscommunicated. I thought he still had idea, but I guess Nick moved on to other things, where you have some hook with a cult. But I guess
Yeah, I was
you let go of the idea altogether.
Yeah, I'd let go of that. I was gonna more so just say like
Okay.
you were like, oh, you have a map and maybe some info, and I was like, oh, okay, that would be fine. Because I'm fine with that. I mean, I can still add something in. That can be easily inserted.
Okay, sounds to me like next session I'm just prioritizing something else. I'm not gonna let go of the whole cult for now and prioritize coming back to the same dungeon we were a session ago. Yeah, and just do that. That's fine.
That's definitely the vibe.
Okay.
I feel like because of the time constraint, because Jamon was like, oh, well, if you guys can't do this like soon, like then I'm gonna give it to someone else. We're like, well, we don't want to miss out on that, so we
Same thing can be said about the cult. Same thing can be said about everything.
Yeah, they have the same thing, but I mean, when you have an active thing like right there dangling in front of you, it's like, well, one's gonna get tossed to the back burner and we'll lose out. So
yeah, I hear you.
It depends on.
I'm not upset that you guys are choosing my adventure one branch over the other. Absolutely not. I'm more like upset with myself that I've done an ungodly amount of prep towards something that was not even relevant for the session. So it's like more of me just needing to get over myself, something.
To be fair, we didn't really get far anywhere. It was a lot of introduction and just sort of chit chatting,
which was funny.
And we lost an hour too, right? So.
Which was fucking funny. Julie Gulia is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, fucking well played. You get 1 player point of inspiration there, Nick.
Oh, cool.
It's not really worth much.
Now?
No, it's not worth much other than maybe a crisp high 5 when I see you, but that's about it.
Slap on the butt. Good job, sport.
Just a slap on
Nick just shows me the portrait for his new character, and he's like, oh yeah, I think she sounds like this. And I'm like, you do you, man. Sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I had to
and
put
her
the tabs aside.
Yeah.
I put the tabs aside and I started looking at the cameras. And then I just see everyone's faces reel back or they're going down in front of their keyboard. And I'm just like, yes, I'm doing it.
Yeah. Guys.
No worries. Julia Gulia.
Big mama.
Big mama. Sounds good. So, just for funsies, because Megan kept asking, everybody was like, oh, we should buy this, we should buy the Wormslayer, we should buy the arrow. How much gold is in the party's possession right now? I'm talking about the party as a whole.
As a whole, not that much.
I know
Riot
has a bunch of gold in his bag of holding. I have.
I'm not counting Riot because he's saving up for A, the cloak, B, his temple building and stuff. So I'm not counting his treasury. Besides, he doesn't have that much gold actually. He has 55 gold pieces on him right now. Unless he only has 55 gold pieces right now on his sheet. So unless there's a missing somewhere, I don't know. Did he put all his coin in the bag of colding? Is that why? Does he have cold coins?
Maybe.
He has a shit ton of
gold.
Yeah, he has gold in his bag of colding. So I don't even know how much gold he has. But all those thousands of gold pieces and all the shinies, the spinels, the rubies, the diamonds. The diamonds is probably got to keep for spell material, but all that shiny treasure he has, he'll probably keep for his own goals there. So I'm not counting him for now. So I'm just curious, in terms of party, what do...
I think I only have 180.
I have 100.
Being a new character and
You
buying.
started with like 500 gold pieces. How'd you spend it all already?
Bought some equipment, and then I bought all my tools that I'm proficient in. And then what else did I buy? Oh, and I bought a acorn, a golden acorn or whatever for my spell.
Yeah. So the only thing I see you guys being able to afford is if you pull your resources together and Riot sells a little bit of his treasure, you'll be able to afford that arrow.
But that's like a consumable one-shot arrow.
But it's a dragon slaying arrow. Yes, it is consumable. Correct.
I mean, Julian can just hop above the, on top of the dragon and yank it out and toss it back.
No, I'm pretty sure it loses its magic after the first shot.
Once an arrow... Oh yeah, you sure about that? Just kidding. Once an arrow of slaying deals the extra damage that it deals, it becomes non-magical arrow. So it doesn't get destroyed, but it becomes a mundane arrow, if you will.
It's a expensive investment right there.
Yeah, but it can deal
Mm-hmm.
massive amount of damage.
What's the
If I
extra
get
amount of damage,
advantage,
Yeah,
if I
what
get
do you,
advantage,
310 or something?
what do you get out of it? Like,
It damages dragon for like a massive amount. Think like if you're facing off like a Dark Souls boss, if you got an arrow that just like took off a quarter of their health in one shot. So it just wounds the dragon. Yeah.
spend 3,000, gain what, 10?
And here's the thing: if you miss with the
I
arrow,
think it's a 1 arrow.
like it loses magic as soon as it deals the damage. So either if you miss with it, or if the dragon or creature succeeds the saving throw against it, it doesn't deal damage. Therefore, oh no, it deals half damage. Never mind. So the saving actually does drain it. But if you miss with it, it's not wasted. So there's that. Wow, an artificer can put a
That is a
returning
saving
charm on the arrow, and it can just return to your hand when you shoot it. That's kind of neat.
We can also make it like with like a thin rope or something, like take a rope and like
You
cut it
could.
down a little bit. You can tie it to the end of the arrow and
Not sure what you mean by
May not get the-
cutting it down a little bit. You'll need a lot of rope because you're launching it like hundreds of feet.
you'll need a lot of rope, but I'm saying like a thick rope. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the size of rope is like and everything. It just says it's 50 feet long, but I'm saying like
Right.
if it's like one of those like inch and a half like thick rope, even 2 inches, it's like putting that around an arrow bolt is gonna really drag it down. So thin it a little bit, make it only like 5/8.
I think you're applying physics before asking the DM, and that's putting your own hurdles in front of you. I would say that doesn't matter. It's a magic arrow. So like whatever magic force is driving it forward, when you shoot it, will not be hindered by something as mundane as hemp rope. So don't worry about it, especially if it's like a few pounds. It's fine. We can just thank magic for that, because that's cool. I like the rope idea more than the let me hinder you with physics idea. You know.
Well, Melina just gave everyone 50.
Now, if you tie like an anvil to it, that's a whole other ordeal. But obviously, within realm of reason. Can I ask? Because it's still bothering me a little bit. Not bothering me, but I'm still thinking about it. Anthony, when you asked about a steed, why would you want to put a bag over his head?
A bag over its head?
Yeah, you said I want to put a bag over my steed's head, and then I unsummon it. Will the bag go with it? I'm like, why would you put
No,
a...
no. I'm not trying to put a bag over its head.
Yeah,
I
not in a
was
literal
just,
sense.
I was just talking about putting a bag on it. Like, let's say,
like a saddlebag?
A saddlebag, or let's say that halberd. Great example.
Right.
Rather than me carrying this giant halberd,
Mhm.
I want to strap it in, carrying fashion to the side on a saddlebag on the horse, and then I dismiss the horse. It doesn't die. It's not killed. I can dismiss it.
Well, you
willingly.
end the spell when you dismiss it, right?
Correct.
It's the same thing. Okay,
So
fair enough.
the
So
halberd would just drop straight to
yeah.
the ground? That's,
Yeah.
You answer the question. Now,
and the
I'm not gonna put a
saddlebags will
bag
also
over
drop.
the-
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Bro. Although, now you gave me ideas about putting a bag over the horse.
It's actually to your benefit too, because if your saddlebag would transport with it to the pocket dimension, and you have to waste another second spell slot to resummon your saddlebag, how painful is that?
It could be, or it could really work out. I don't know. You know,
You're
feed
cocking
it,
yourself.
Who knows? You know, we get to a horde of dragon treasure and just force feed it a bunch of gold and be like, all right, poof. And then you come back a fat horse full of coins in its gut.
I'm gonna say feeding your horse treasure kills it.
Hey.
I don't know if you ever own a horse. I don't know if you ever tried to feed it some metal.
I don't know if you've ever interacted with a living creature, but feeding it gold coins is not a good idea.
Yeah, to say the least.
Going back to this arrow, though, I still don't understand. I feel like a cannonball does more damage than an arrow, and are cheaper.
I mean, it's not just an arrow; it's enchanted to slay dragons. But I mean, I wouldn't downgrade cannons either, especially arcane cannons. Those suckers deal damage. The only thing about if you want to be like a nerd about it and do like the whole number crunch, when you operate a cannon or any siege weapon, there's a loading time and there's a firing time. With those cannons specifically, it takes you a whole turn to load them and then a whole turn to fire them, and you need a crew of 2 people for that. So what are those 2 people can do in that time compared to a cannon is really the number crunch you're doing if you really care about those sort of numbers. Yep.
Good to consider.
Yep. Yep. I'm just sad because I really, really, really liked Nia's plan. Like, as a DM, I was like, infiltrating cult and then taking their ship is fucking awesome. I don't know. I thought it was cool. I thought she was gonna, like, shine, like, her subclass and all that. Not saying she can't use it, like, later on, but I just really liked it.
I mean, I'm down if we can get there in time. I think hearing the time thing from Jaman was like,
if that is really the only thing, guys, you guys stopping you guys, I can just hand wave the time thing. It doesn't. I'm just. That's what happens when I improvise. That's what happens when. Because I ask you guys all the time, like, okay, what's the party's plan? Because when I have a whole week to prepare stuff, then everything sort of connects perfectly. At least I hope so. Like, narratively, everything makes sense. When I have to improvise, a lot of times I make like decisions on the fly that I'm like, I regret. I personally regret putting a time constraint. Not gonna lie to you. It doesn't add anything good to the campaign, so I don't know. But whatever you guys choose, we'll run it next session. I think I should be able to run it like for the full from 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Good deal. And so I think we all agree that I should put a bag over Steven's head. That's what I conclude with.
You could, I'm trying to think of what the fuck? Make it look like Rorschach.
Yeah, Rorschach. Yeah, literally.
How do we deal with new characters joining the party and them not having badges? This retrieval flow. Yeah, I think it's only fair that retrieving the body was like enough to earn you a place amid an already established group of individuals who have already earned their place. Yeah.
I'll take it. I will take it. I'll take that win.
I'm just trying to like walk the knife's edge of not making it seem like, oh yeah, you can join a faction and they're super trustworthy, which is why they're getting so many issues with spies and shit,
Well, we're also going to do the Zahir thing too, and I think everyone mutually benefits from that as well. So it's like, okay, well, you did the dragon thing.
Just
You're on our radar. You're super close, but we just still need to fill you out. And then if we accomplish the Zahir thing, it's like, all right, cool. You're cool, man.
yeah, just so you know, I hear you, but the Zahir thing has seldom to do with the Allegiance of Allside. That's more like a Cobalt Soul thing.
I mean, if they work together, I mean, they have shared interests.
You're right.
I feel like that can help everyone.
You're right.
I mean, it's a betrayer god. It's like
I'm just
give that
saying
to everybody.
that breadcrumb trail, it follows more to do with the Cobalt Soul faction in later quests, if you guys choose to do so. But the thing is that the way I see it, aside from following up with the Cobalt Soul in terms of the cult, I think after that the party will eventually call Moreau and move on to bigger, better things. I think.
Yeah, I think once we do the dragon and then Zahir and then the fighting pit, I think after those,
Yeah.
probably go down to Cal Moreau.
It really just boils down to what are you guys doing this for? Is it for the lash? Is it for? I thought, Nick, you had some kind of hook with a cult where like you lost somebody to the cult, or I don't know. You're from the Feywild, so you're pursuing like the source of corruption that is corrupting both the material and the Feywilds and all that jazz. And then the rest of the party has to ask some same question, like why are we doing the things we're doing, right? For Winston, it's the easiest. Like, glory can be sought everywhere. I know Riot has its reasons why he wanted to pursue the cult. I'm pretty sure, like, if Will was here, we would have probably had more discourse of what to do, cult or dragon. But because he is a druid, has plenty of reasons to pursue the cult. Yeah, and then you have to ask yourself, like, if you do find a lash and retrieve it, what are you going to do with it? But we'll see.
It belongs in a museum.
Which?
Use it. Attune to it.
Using it is going to cause corruption in you, young one.
Depends on the user.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick. Depends on the user.
I mean, just ask.
Guys, we gotta kill all these kids.
Just ask Lorian over here. Give him fucking. You finished Avernus. I can talk about it. So remember the shield from Descent of Avernus? Anthony, do you remember the shield, or you?
What a
you,
bitch that guy
Oh,
was. What was
yeah,
his name? Gargoth?
do you guys?
I remember. I befriended that son of a bitch. We're allies.
What did you guys do with the shield before I go on with my story?
I returned him. I kept him at bay. I got all the right items to release him, and all the while I've been using charisma to coax him and befriend him as best I could. Right, it is a high level being, mind you, and then at the right moment, brought him back. I'm like, here, you're free.
Okay, so Lorian was the one to do that in our campaign, and you can just ask him how a corrupt item is really defined by the user wielding them, and can really quickly be nullified to, like, not so corrupting depending on the user. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I was pretty corrupt already. Like, I did a lot of a lot of dickish things. But hey, win in Rome, win in Avernus.
Sure. Just glad you guys finished it with some sort of ending.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
We just killed Lulu. As soon as we met her, we just shot her in the face.
Yeah. There you go. You're out. We don't need you.
Right, Lorian? Fucking saw that elephant, fucking shot her in the face.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking.
That thing. What is that weird ass looking?
Just died.
Took her. Yeah, you just fucking so stupid. Fucking 1 HP. Bam, dead.
It was a great but the ear was a great spell component.
Mm-hmm. Fucking made rations out of her for like days. It's great.
I played
in our
with
campaign. I was
a druid, so he really wanted to preserve life.
You were using.
you were using?
And in our campaign, when Tom was running Descent into Avernus for me, Hunter, and a bunch of other people, I was using the shield. And I was playing a character that kind of had this mindset of anything just of the ends justifies the means. And so he was all fine with like working with like these devils and demons and just extorting like sort of extorting like these evil creatures to get what he wanted. And so when he got the shield, he was sort of like lying to Gargo. He was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll help you get your body back. Of course, just give me the power, and give me your power, and I'll do anything." And eventually, he figured out that I was lying to him, and
Yeah, because how long can you treat NPCs like they're
He wouldn't
idiots?
work with me anymore.
And that's
so
why you failed.
I was like, "Fuck him," and so I just traded him for a rod of absorption.
Oh God.
Because eventually he stopped giving me his power. I was like, "Well, you're useless to me now.
Wow.
Fuck you." It's like- And I've had a grudge with my sugar daddy ever since.
It's fine. You got a better sugar mommy though.
Sugar mommy?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Shimashka? Shoot.
Well, no, Shemeshka is a whole different fucking play ball there. I'm talking about our party patron of wishes and grants. This entity.
Oh my god, I forgot about.
Yeah.
What was her name again?
Exactly. God, I missed my character in that campaign.
Ganesha? Was her name Ganesha?
Ganesha is the Indian god that you're thinking about. She was Gingama. Gingama, yeah. I don't think you guys ever saw her in that form. I just had her in my notes like this all the time till like the very end, I think. Because nobody ever, I don't know, can't come to that. That was another campaign I joined in as a character and then I had to take over as a dungeon master.
So you just sold the shield. You just were like, I'm done with this shield.
Yeah.
What a dick. You're a dick.
I wielded the shield.
That's kind of
Back when I was a PC, I wielded a shield, so it all depends on the user. Different stories can happen.
For sure. I was the one wielding the shield, and then eventually there was a moment where we were facing down a whole armada of war machines. I was like, well...
Did you play chess, though?
Let me bring out the big guns.
Did you play chess with the war machines, though?
What do you mean by chess? What?
Did you use the war machines as chess pieces and play a giant game of chess as a final battle? Because that sounds like a really fun idea.
We had a pretty big battle. There was a lot of war machine battles. Yeah. A lot.
Yeah.
It was hard to travel Avernus without having to engage in war machines and different battles. But there was towards whatever time, I forget where we were. I was like, yeah. All right, time to release this dude. So yeah, I released the motherfucker. And as the story, because of everything I rolled leading up to that point, he considered me an ally, and so he basically offered me a position, second in command to his throne. I was like, yeah, I just got to finish a couple of things, and I'll come join you.
Yeah. Well, any other feedback or questions about the session? Not very. I don't think there will be many questions, but just before I leg it for the night.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off because I want to get some food and go to bed.
Okay.
Yeah.